is part of the county's $4 billion plan to improve water infrastructure and follows recent water rate increases.
Over the past several decades, DeKalb County did not increase water rates at what should have been a proper rate in order to allow us to make the necessary capital improvements.
County CEO Lorraine Cochran-Johnson says these projects are needed to ensure the county's future success. It's expected to last at least through the end of the year. Police are searching for a suspect after two people are shot on a MARTA train. The shooting happened Sunday afternoon on a train traveling to southbound toward the East Point station. One victim is taken to a nearby hospital after being shot in the chest. The other is treated by EMS at the station for a neck wound. Police believe the shooting may have happened during an attempted robbery. A six-figure fraud scheme ends with a Johns Creek teen in jail.
Authorities say William Chadwick Jones opened a business account at a Synovus Bank branch in Alpharetta and deposited several checks totaling nearly $550,000 using the mobile app. Police say Jones began moving money around quickly using wire transfers, Zelle deposits, and debit card purchases, and even using some of that cash to hire a criminal attorney in connection to another fraud case. And to top it all off, authorities tell Channel 2 Action News when the 19-year-old was arrested in Johns Creek, he was in a Porsche that he purchased with some of that fraudulent money as well. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
A new study finds social media could be associated with loneliness, but it depends where you're scrolling.
Not all social media apps are associated with loneliness.
Dr. Ben Reagan with the Annals of the New York Academy of Sciences says the study finds there is an association with loneliness and YouTube, Reddit, and some dating apps, but not Facebook, Instagram, or X. It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic begins with Smilin' Mark McKay.
Seeing recovery on I-85, Cheryl, slowly but surely, and that's what you're doing. You're moving quite slowly between Duluth and Norcross. Had a crash and still working on the right shoulder. 85 southbound at times. They got the right lane blocked at Pleasantdale Road, but they had to hold all lanes for a while there to get it to the right shoulder. That's why all lanes are jammed up as you leave the Highway 316 region. Moving over to 400, yes, it's slow, but improving between Alpharetta and Roswell. Worst of that southbound trek's going to be between Haynesbridge Road and Holcomb Road. A little extra heavy at the I-75, 575 merge point, rolling out of Kennesaw toward Marietta. Had a crash that wasn't a travel lane, now working right shoulder. I-75 southbound at the North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. Any relief for those stuck on the Stone Mountain Freeway, Ashley Fresca?
Better news now. They cleared the stall off to the right. Lanes are back open on Highway 78 West before Mountain Industrial. A few brake lights, though, begin as you approach Hugh Howell Road. And a lot better news trying to get through Lawrenceville on Ronald Reagan Parkway westbound. That long-standing crash finally cleared before Pleasant Hill. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy today, warm and muggy, high 86. A few scattered rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, hot and humid, high 89. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Cooling down on Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 82.
And right now, 72 across Norcross as well as Powder Springs. You're at 71 degrees in Woodstock. We'll have more news coming up at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, good Monday morning, friends. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We should have a fantastic show for you today. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to go up to D.C., get the latest on the Biden diagnosis from Stephen Portnoy from ABC. The market's open in 24 minutes. We're going to monitor those after the Moody's downgrading of the United States credit rating. Eric Erickson is going to join us live, talking all things politics at 10:35. Our 5K day bonus blitz keyword comes straight at you at 10:18. But I'm overly excited about this, Deborah. 11:37, we're giving away tickets to see Metallica at the Benz. I've been giving away tickets for almost 28 years on WSB. I don't think I've ever given away Metallica tickets.
Really?
Never, ever.
Wow.
Yeah, Neil Diamond, yes. But never Metallica. How did you swing that, buddy?
I mean, we're one of the only stations that feature Metallica in the city, so it's a big get, and it's a huge time. I haven't been back here in a long time. And
fantastic. Oh, my God. Yeah, so very excited. So 11:37, Deborah's good. Those tickets are too good for me to give away, So Deborah, our official musical correspondent, is going to give away Metallica tickets at 11. I don't know what I'd rather win, Metallica tickets or the 5K day bonus splits. Yeah, that's a Sophie's Choice question. We do pick up some breaking news. Within the next hour, President Trump is going to speak to Vladimir Putin, apparently, on the phone as things have been collapsing in the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. So we'll go up to the White House, and Elena Treen is going to update us that in just a minute. But I do want to get to the big news that broke yesterday. The diagnosis, the cancer diagnosis of former President Joe Biden. Covering the story from ABC News. Joining us is Stephen Portnoy. Bombshell announcement yesterday. Are we getting any more details this morning, Stephen?
Well, not a tremendous amount of information, but the details help our general understanding. The first word of a possible issue came last week in a statement on Tuesday from Biden's office when they said that a nodule was found in the former president's prostate. And then yesterday, word came that on Friday of last week, the 82-year-old former president was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to the bone. And that means, according to our ABC News medical unit experts, that is an incurable cancer. But the Biden's office statement says that it appears to be hormone sensitive, which, according to the statement, would allow for effective management. And Biden and his family were said to be reviewing treatment options with the doctors. Now, behind that, the experts say that perhaps one way to manage it would be to control Biden's testosterone levels. That might be able to control the rapid growth of the cancer, even as it has spread, and that the understanding doctors generally have is that a prostate cancer such as this can be managed in a man of Biden's age for years. And so we don't know anything more. There's specific information that doctors who have not examined Biden would like to know so they can generally help the public understand what this all means. For example, the PSA level, that has not been disclosed, but the whole idea here is that this may be something that, as I say, can't be cured but can be managed over a period of years.
Stephen Portnoy from ABC joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. I can't, obviously, thoughts and prayers. We're seeing bipartisan support for the former president on social media, but I can't help but play the what-if game. What if President Biden didn't drop out of the race and was reelected to the presidency? How would this have been handled during a second Biden term, this cancer diagnosis?
Well, look, this news comes as the country is reflecting on that decision. There's, of course, the book that I think comes out tomorrow from Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson that gets at what they call a cover-up inside the White House and generally here in Washington of Biden's condition. And so, look, the fact is that the country saw how Biden had deteriorated. That led to his dropping out of the race. And now there's this news of the cancer diagnosis. So ultimately, the fact is the framers set it up so there would be a succession with a vice president ready to take over. And beyond that, Congress has laid out succession plans behind the vice president. So the point is, continuity of government is a clinical way to look at this. The political question is one that has been asked, and I think it's all part of the picture. Joe Biden was the oldest man ever to be elected president, and he was forced out of the race when he wanted a second term. If he had been reelected, this news would have hit extremely hard. A sitting president to be diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer, we've not seen that in our lifetimes.
Prior to the announcement yesterday, knives were out in D.C., about this forthcoming book and the fact that maybe President Biden wasn't up to snuff in his first term, never mind running for a second term. With this announcement of the cancer diagnosis, will things calm down, or are there still going to be some people looking for heads to chop?
A lot of impetus behind this story and the storytelling, and I don't mean of Biden's cancer diagnosis, I mean the lead up with the book that we're talking about, gets at the idea that there's a lot of liberal angst on the left. How could Donald Trump have won? How could the Democrats not have been better positioned to defeat him? I think that's a lot of the context behind all of this.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. As always, appreciate your time, Stephen.
You bet.
We'll continue to monitor the diagnosis again, the breaking news that popped yesterday. President Biden diagnosed with prostate cancer. So immediately after the diagnosis, and you probably got the push alert on the WSB radio app yesterday, it warmed my heart to see even the most fervent Biden critics on the right wish the president a speedy recovery, thoughts and prayers. It was great. President Trump, who obviously is no fan of Joe Biden. I mean, just on a daily basis hammers the mistakes he made in his first term and what he's inherited. Had a nice social post out, wishing the Biden family the best, he and Melania. So that was heartwarming. But after that initial wave of good cheer, of well wishes, the conspiracy theorists started popping up. And I understand for sure, with the Tapper book coming out tomorrow and all of these, behind the scenes allegations of when did he start losing his mental facilities? And who was involved in the cover-up of keeping this from the United States, not just leading up to his withdrawal from the 2024 election, but in that term of president. Was he always there? Was he fully functioning? Was he there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. So obviously the first thing, and I'm not going to say this didn't pop into my mind either, was what about the timing of this? Right, the diagnosis of prostate cancer 2 days before that bombshell book's about to be dropped. And I thought about it. And one of these three things is probably there are three possibilities of what happened when it comes to Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. One, it's just as it is. He had a checkup, he had a nodule, he's diagnosed with prostate cancer spread to his bone. That's option number one. Exactly what he said, exactly what they released, that happened. The second possibility is they've been sitting on this diagnosis, right? They've known for a while that Biden has prostate cancer. A week, a month, 3 months, who knows? And they dropped this announcement yesterday to take the attention away from the book that's coming out. That is really apparently going to be very damaging to not just the president, his legacy, but his inner circle and those that kept him in a bubble, if you will, in the West Wing. That's a second possibility, that they knew he had prostate cancer and they've just been waiting to announce it. The third possibility is he doesn't have cancer at all. and they're just trying to whip up some sort of a sandstorm to distract everybody. So in my mind, those are the only three real possibilities. What they're saying is the truth. He just got the diagnosis, and what they tell us is the truth. The second is, yeah, he has cancer, but they've known for a while, and they've just been waiting to announce it to try take the wind out of the sails of that forthcoming damaging book to his reputation and legacy. Or third, they're just making it all up. It's just willy-nilly. It's like, we got to do something. Well, he's old. Let's give him cancer. I honestly, I hope it's the first one where sad. Listen, my parents both survived cancer. Everyone listening now has either had cancer or knows someone in their family or their cohort. It's a thing. And it's a vicious, vicious thing. And at his advanced age, man, it happens. The timing was certainly questionable. Either this is 100% the truth, or it's the truth, but they knew for a while, or they're just making the whole thing up. And I don't think it's the second or third, because that's tough to cover up. The cover-up's worse than the crime. If they knew about this 3 months ago, and they sat on it to mute the power of the Jake Tapper book, that will come out. Trust me, that will come out. Some nurse is going to drop a dime and be like, "Oh yeah, Biden was in here 6 months ago. We told him he had cancer." Like that's tough to cover up. A lot of eyes and ears would know that story. And if it's totally made up, then there'll be proof for sure. Anyway, that was the big breaking news yesterday. The breaking news today is within the next hour, President Trump is set to speak to Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. Elena Trine from CNN just moments ago at the White House.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of pressure, John, on this phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin at 10 a.m. As you mentioned, he'll also speak, President Donald Trump, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shortly thereafter. But there's no question that Trump administration officials and even the president himself have grown increasingly frustrated with Putin in recent weeks. And really, I think a key goal today with this phone call is decide whether or not a deal is still viable. Now, we did hear the president this weekend kind of express optimism. He also said that he believed he needed to sit down or at least have a direct conversation with the Russian president to determine what a path forward could look like. But all of this, these calls today come after we know that, one, as you mentioned, Ukraine is now accusing Russia of launching its largest drone attack on its country since the war began. It also comes after Putin did not show up to Turkey for a meeting that he actually proposed in the first place. Instead, Zelensky and Ukrainian official representatives met with Russian representatives there. And then we also know that Zelensky met with Vice President J.D. Vance as well as Secretary of State Marco Rubio yesterday in Rome. Now, we did hear from Rubio yesterday on this. He essentially said that he believed like a key goal today is to determine whether or not Putin is, how they keep describing it, tapping them along. And again, whether or not there is actually, value in continuing these talks with Russia to determine if there can really be peace reached here. And that, of course, is going to be a key question of this briefing with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt that is set to kick off shortly. I also just want to mention one key thing as well, which is that we know there's been a lot of pressure building in Congress, but also from the United States, European allies about placing more aggressive sanctions on Russia. Senator Lindsey Graham has teed up a package to do just that. Congress is expected to consider that soon. And I think a key question is, if today's call does not go well, how will President Donald Trump react? Will he support such a move? A lot riding on these calls.
Lena Treen from CNN moments ago at the White House. Again, within the hour, President Trump set to have a phone call with his Russian counterpart, Russian President Vladimir Putin, trying to salvage any kind of a ceasefire or peace deal. It's not looking good. And as Elena mentioned, the president is getting really frustrated with Russia as they just refuse to negotiate, refuse to do anything. So obviously a big story. If we get reporting on the phone call, we will bring it to you live. Don't forget, in 1 hour from right now, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB. For now, though, let's check the Monday morning drive. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Mike Shields?
Good in some spots, but slow in others. Mark 85 southbound and Gwinnett still trying to recover from a long-standing crash that cleared to the right shoulder at Pleasantdale Road, but bumper to bumper as you leave Highway 316. Things getting slow in Sandy Springs with right lane roadwork setting up on 285 westbound, the outer loop right past Georgia 400. That's having a negative impact on 400 southbound, ramping onto 285 westbound. This report is brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp message privately with everyone. I'm Mike Schultz, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, you made my day.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, and we're disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Car prices are expected to rise this summer. Do you wait or buy now? At Butler Lexus South Atlanta, there's no guesswork, just peace of mind. All in-stock Lexus vehicles are price locked, guaranteed not to go up. Visit Butler Lexus of South Atlanta or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Experience the standard of amazing.
How many of you are playing air guitar right now as you're driving and steering with your knees? Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Enter Sandman. Enter Metallica tickets. Deborah's giving away a pair at 11:37. Very excited. Are we having those all week, Deborah, or is this a one?
All week.
Oh, you are the gift. You're like the Jelly of the Month Club.
Leading up to a holiday week.
Yes, very excited. All right, so not only that, 11:37, first time in my 28 years at WSB Radio, I'm giving away Metallica tickets. But coming up at 10:18, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000. Coming up after the news at 9:30, we're going to go back to D.C. correspondent John Decker. Something we're going to monitor all day today. Moody's has downgraded the U.S.'s credit rating. Listen, I'm sure all of us at one point have had a bad credit rating at one time or another. The United States apparently not an ideal credit rating, and how the markets were going to react. Dow futures are down, NASDAQ's down, but we'll get an update from John Decker after the news at 9:35. It's graduation season here. I remember fondly, it came up as a Facebook memory, my high school graduation in 1991. At the Warner Theater in Torrington, Connecticut. Great time, right? Both my grandparents came up for it. It was a celebration. I had a small class. I had the smallest graduating class in my high school in its history. It was like 182 kids. But that's a monstrous graduation class compared to this one school where there was only one kid that graduated, right, Deborah?
Yeah. Let's see. This is a girl in Louisiana, and she's going to be the only person graduating in her class. And it's not because the rest of her classmates all failed or anything. She's actually the only student, the only senior. So this is South Cameron High School. It's near Lake Charles. And a lot of families kind of left that area after Hurricane Laura back in 2020. So she is the only senior in that school. Now, there's other kids in the school, but she's the only one graduating. And they are going to have a whole ceremony for her.
And she's automatically valedictorian.
Automatically, yeah.
That's
top of the class.
That's the only way I would have been valedictorian if I was the only graduate. That's interesting. Kind of a lonely existence, like, right? But anyway, congrats to her. It reminds me when Low T Chuck used to screen our calls from Whitefish, Montana. I used to say he went to a one-room schoolhouse. But I think even Low T Chuck had like 8 kids that graduated in his high school. 1. I would put that on my college application, valedictorian. You know, check me up. Apparently Gen Zs are lying on job applications, which I don't think is a new thing, but Deborah's going to discuss that a little bit later. So do you have the graduating senior's name, Deborah?
No, it just says the only girl in the school.
I'll just send her a letter to the high school and just address it high school senior. Lone high school senior. Congrats from the Mark Arum Show. All right, news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, going up to D.C. not once, but twice. Correspondent John Decker from the White House on the Moody's downgrade, and Torian Small, CBS News Capitol Hill reporter, the latest on the budget bill. We'll be right back. It's the Mark Arum Show, WSB.
We are here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Aaron, you mentioned that taxes are on sale. What exactly does that mean? And is it something we need to take advantage of right now?
Yeah, Mark, it may not feel like it right now, especially this time of year, but when you look at history, we are actually in historically low income tax rates time. If you look back, tax rates have been significantly higher. And when you look at the national debt, which most reference at around $36 trillion, but when you consider the fact that with all the unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, it's actually north of $100 trillion. When we look at factors like that, there's a pretty good chance that tax rates actually go significantly higher again. So yeah, you can make an argument that right now taxes are on sale.
So Aaron, what can we do right now to take advantage of these low tax rates?
If you don't have an income plan in your retirement conversations, then you actually don't have a tax plan. And that's important because if you don't have a plan for your money, guess who does? Uncle Sam's got one, and by default, you'll fall into that one. So we want to offer you a no-cost, no-obligation tax map. It's a deep dive into your retirement plan and specifically your tax strategy. From there, we'll make suggestions based on what's working or what opportunities could better fit your situation. The goal is for you to keep more of your hard-earned money while giving less to Uncle Sam. Call us at 770-280-1488. Again, that's 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we're available all across Metro Atlanta to meet you at a time and place that fits your schedule.
Taxes are not a seasonal conversation, and they're not going away once you retire. Take advantage of the complimentary tax map by calling the Vincent Financial Group today. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Morning to you at 9:30. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story, former President Biden releases his first online post since his prostate cancer diagnosis. Biden writes on X, "Cancer touches us all." It's been 10 years since Biden lost his son Beau to brain cancer. He goes on to thank well-wishers for lifting up his family, quote, "with love and support." Well, Georgia lawmakers on both sides of the political spectrum are united in their support for Biden and his cancer diagnosis. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene posts online, "Cancer is truly awful," and she notes her dad died of cancer 4 years ago. Democratic Congressman Hank Johnson says Biden has always been a fighter, and we wish him a full and healthy recovery. A U.S. credit downgrade points to yet another rough start to the trading week. Moody's downgrades the country's credit rating because of its $36 trillion in national debt.
The firm, which trailed rivals with the move, blamed successive presidents and U.S. lawmakers for a ballooning budget deficit. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent downplayed the concerns, telling NBC's Meet the Press with Kristen Welker that Moody's is a lagging indicator.
And Gina Cervetti reports Moody's held a perfect credit rating for the U.S. for more than 100 years. Atlanta police are investigating a shooting near an apartment complex near Georgia Tech. Officers respond to 699 Spring Street right around 7 Sunday night and found a man who'd been shot in the head. Authorities say he was not alert. He was conscious, though, and breathing. Investigators say the victim was in an argument in the hallway of the building when he was shot. The investigation is ongoing. He was taken to the hospital to be treated. An attempt to start a fire in a busy store east of Atlanta leads to a man's arrest.
The Barrow County Sheriff's Office says they responded to a call at the Target store on Loganville Highway in Barrow County just before noon on Sunday. When they arrived, they found a man trying to start a fire inside the store. Fortunately, deputies managed to get everyone in the store out safely. The sheriff says it was a potentially dangerous situation that was contained by deputies without harm. Daphne Young, 95.5 WSB.
Changes take effect at MARTA's 5 Point Station that could impact your next trip in downtown Atlanta. A series of downtown bus routes are now being detoured as a massive renovation project gets underway at that station. They're also soon planning to close every access point to the station except for the one on Forsyth Street. You can find a list of route detours and other changes at WSBRadio.com. Well, a vital shelter and support hub for the homeless reopens today in Gwinnett County. Lindsay Jorstad with Gwinnett County government says the original center was shut down during COVID. When it reopened back in 2023, the facility then experienced major flooding and had some burst pipes.
This is a big milestone in a movement. It is a celebration of, resilience, progress, and purpose.
Now the Latin American Association Outreach Center on Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Norcross is finally ready to reopen. On the WSB Energy Watch, Metro Atlanta gas prices are climbing again after a brief decline. AAA says prices are up nearly 4 cents in 1 week for a gallon of regular as demand picks up ahead of Memorial Day weekend. Today's average, $2.95 a gallon. That's still a few cents cheaper than a week ago and more than 40 cents lower than this time last year. It's 9:33. Time to check traffic and weather. Mike Shields joining us now live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Cheryl, I-85 southbound still trying to recover from multiple issues between 316 and I-285. So still sluggish as you leave Duluth through Norcross trying to get down to Spaghetti Junction. Things slow on 285 westbound, the outer loop past Georgia 400 due to right lane road work that's reported by the DOT. And that's impacted Georgia 400 and both directions ramping on to 285 westbound. And a crash near the airport moved to the right shoulder, 285 eastbound. The outer loop right at the ramp to I-75. All lanes are back open. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy with a high of 86. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms with the heating of the day. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 89. Watching for scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Wednesday cooling down, high 82.
And right now, you're cloudy, 73 degrees in Duluth, 74 in Stonecrest, 71 degrees in Milton. More news at 10 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
All the notifications you need.
The story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
There's a lot more work to do. We've always acknowledged that. Towards the end, there will be more
Speaker
details.
Mike Johnson, progress on the big budget bill. Coming up next, we'll go to D.C., get the latest on that, and the downgrade of the U.S. credit rating. 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
A company that you trust. Who comes to mind? Ragsdale has been a part of our home for years. They've been my go-to for a new HVAC system, blown-in insulation, and electrical work that makes life more simple. They're on time and work with my busy schedule. Right now, get up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system and enjoy Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. Learn why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Start at ragsdaleair.com. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Attention seniors, do you want more personalized healthcare with more one-on-one time with your doctor? Then join us at the grand opening of CenterWell Marietta. CenterWell offers senior-focused primary care that's centered on you. Celebrate with us Tuesday, May 20th, near the Walmart off Highway 41 here in Marietta from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, visit CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com.
Business fraud is on the rise. Is your bank helping you make a plan to detect and prevent it? I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Our local bankers are here to guide your company and make recommendations for your business, including fraud prevention tools like Positive Pay. This month, we're even offering an on-demand fraud prevention webinar for businesses like yours. To view the webinar and learn more about how we can help you protect your business, visit amerisbank.com/businessmonth. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Motorcycle riders like you are a different breed. You don't just ride your bike, you're obsessed. So if someone causes you to lay your bike down, you need a different kind of attorney, one that understands bikers and their rights. Eric Von Hessler here for my friends at Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group, motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. You can trust them on the road and in the courtroom. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, and your case resolved. Trust is everything, and results matter. Free case evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
9:37 on the Mark Arum Show, wishing Pete Townsend a happy 80th birthday. Lead singer of The Who. This is Pinball Wizard from the rock opera Tommy. Full disclosure, I might be the world's worst pinball player. I don't even know. Vinny's probably even never played pinball. But growing up, that was the thing. You go to the arcade. I was so bad at pinball. I have no idea why. I just didn't. I lacked the dexterity, whatever it is. But anyway, happy. I don't want to take away from Pete's birthday. Happy 80th birthday to Pete. Coming up in a minute, we're going to check in with Torian Small, CBS News Capitol Hill reporter, on the budget deal, ? He says. But after the markets closed on Friday, the nation's credit rating was downgraded. Joining us on the show, White House correspondent John Decker. Because of that downgrade, what does that mean for the budget bill? Any new information this morning, John?
Well, some good news and some bad news. The bad news is what you just mentioned. The credit rating of the U.S. received a downgrade on Friday after the market closed from the ratings firm Moody's. They determined that the government's rising debt levels will grow even larger if Republicans enact that package of new tax cuts. The Budget Committee late last night actually passed that budget proposal, and now it moves on to the Rules Committee, and it seems to be likely to move out of the House of Representatives, maybe even before Memorial Day, which was the goal of the House Speaker. But as far as the credit rating is concerned, this is not a good thing. And the markets, the financial markets, will likely react negatively to that news when the markets open in just a few hours.
Correspondent John Decker joining us on the Mark Arum Show. I don't know if you've seen overseas trading, but would the downgrading of the U.S. market impact foreign markets, the Asian markets, or the European markets?
Well, it could. The downgrade from Moody's means that each of the three major credit rating agencies no longer give the U.S. its best rating. Fitch, they downgraded the U.S. in 2023, citing fiscal concerns. And Standard & Poor's actually downgraded the U.S. way back in 2011. But the new rating decrease, to your question, Mark, could send ripple effects throughout the economy, the global economy, if it prompts investors to demand higher payments on bonds, which in turn could raise customers' borrowing costs.
And we'll monitor the markets throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. What about the budget bill? So it gets out of committee, and I would assume then, if reading between the lines, that Speaker Johnson has the votes to get it through the House as well?
It seems like it, although the four House members that got it out of the committee voted present. So they're not all 100% on board this particular bill. They just did that as a favor, essentially, to the House Republican Conference and to the president to allow the bill to move forward. Not clear yet how they will vote on the ultimate finished product once it gets to the House floor.
President Trump back from his Mideast trip. Anything we should be watching for at or near the White House today?
Well, yes, the president has an event in the Rose Garden this afternoon with the First Lady. The president will sign another bill. I think it's his second bill that he signed since being sworn in for his second term. That bill signing will take place with the First Lady, Melania Trump in the late afternoon. And as you point out, this is the president's first day back after that 4-day trip to the Middle East. We have a press briefing this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and that means it's Caroline Leavitt's first press briefing since being back from the Middle East.
John Decker, White House correspondent, will be there. John, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
As expected with the Moody's downgrade, the markets are down right now, 11 minutes after the bell. Dow's down 178 points. NASDAQ's 175, as expected, not unexpected when we get the numbers from Moody's there. It's to be expected. And I actually saw someone today, I think it was one of the big financial firms said, today, buy the dip today. Because Moody's downgraded the U.S. debt, but if the budget bill passes, things could be rosier on the other side of the market. So we'll keep an eye on the markets. But as expected, they are down. You know what? I mentioned to John, let me see what the Asian market. Yeah, Asian markets were down. European markets are down. So everyone's down. The United States, listen, we are the economic engine of the global market. So we will certainly see what happens after Moody. Listen, on a personal I've had some really bad credit ratings in my day. I've never been in debt to the tune of trillions of dollars like the United States government right now. But you ever wince when you get that credit rating? freecreditreport.com or whatever, and you're like, I don't want to open it. Yeah. So I've been there. I can relate. So Moody's downgraded. We will talk to Amanda Albright from Bloomberg News. She's covering the credit rating story for us, and will join us there in just a second. I do want to get the latest from Kyiv right now. We heard President Trump is set to speak to his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, sometime this hour. Nick Payton-Walsh is in Kyiv, monitoring what have been flailing talks.
Yeah, important to remind everyone about the barrage Ukraine's experienced over this weekend, including an attack on a civilian minibus that killed 9 civilians near the Russian border. But that really, I think, is a reminder of how urgently many here want the violence to stop, but in such a way that it is sustainable and not entirely in Moscow's favor. And so I think President Trump has to some degree put himself into a bit of a corner here with the statement suggesting he'd speak to Vladimir Putin at 10 and then Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and then NATO leaders. Essentially, he's going to have to emerge from this conversation with some sort of progress or forward momentum, you might indeed argue. But indeed, his envoy, Steve Witkoff, suggesting it's the sheer force of personality of President Trump that might shift this forward, that might break the logjam. The Kremlin dialing down, perhaps, I think, some expectations, talking about how they'll be talking, the two presidents, about the results from the Istanbul talks, the first direct talks between Russia and Ukraine, that Russia sent a pretty junior delegation to, that agreed on a prisoner swap, but not an awful else much new. And, of course, the Kremlin suggesting that some of the topic might be a ceasefire, something Russia has persistently resisted in the unconditional, lengthy fashion that the United States first suggested, Europe demanded, and Russia brushed aside. But also, too, the possibility of those two men meeting in person. Remember, President Trump has held that out as ultimately the key thing, which he thinks can bring progress to peace here. But here's the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, on the significance of these talks.
So they're tapping us along. Well, that's what we're trying to find out. We'll find out pretty soon. On the other hand, we don't have time to waste. So we don't want to be involved in this process of just endless talks. There has to be some progress, some movement forward. Ultimately, one of the things that could help break this logjam, perhaps the only thing that can, is a direct conversation between President Trump and Vladimir Putin.
So is that really the big ask, that indeed Trump and Putin will have a face-to-face meeting? It's something that Trump's predecessor refused, saying that it would essentially be rewarding Russia for its full-scale, unprovoked invasion of its neighbour. But ultimately, that may be the thing that provides progress. It may be the least that Trump could potentially come away from this phone call claiming as some sort of success or progress. But the larger question is, what if the Trump administration decides it's not seeing enough progress here? Do they walk away from the whole thing? From Ukraine? Does that mean something different about military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine, upon which Ukraine is utterly dependent? Key questions, but ultimately too, I think President Trump will emerge from this phone call with President Putin having to explain to Ukraine and his key NATO allies what the next steps forward are. He's tried to grab the schedule back, it seems, of this peace process from the Kremlin. We'll have to see if that actually yields results.
Nick Payton-Walsh in Kyiv this morning. So that's a busy day for President Trump. So at 10 o'clock, according to Nick's reporting, President Trump is going to talk to Vladimir Putin. And then after that, he's going to talk to Vladimir Zelensky. And then after that, he's going to talk to the NATO leadership. So a really big day right now when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war. We will monitor that, of course. Monitoring the markets, they're down, Deborah. This story, just crazy. I'm gonna ask Vinny first. Vinny, how much money? You're a kid, so you're not even thinking retirement, but spitball it for me. How much money do you think you'll need to retire comfortably? Like, what kind of cash on hand are we talking about?
Like 100,000.
100,000. Longoria, how much cash?
Are we talking per year or for the whole time?
Your nest egg.
Oh wow, $5 million.
$5 million from 100,000 Vinny to $5 million.
I would think. I don't know.
Leslie must.
I'm just.
All right. So
over.
Americans thought it was what, Deborah? 1.3 million, but apparently it's less cash needed to retire. What's the number now?
So the average American response, or the average American was asked how much money they need, and the response in general came out to $1.46 million to retire comfortably, right? But a new study shows it's actually closer to $880,000 and a little bit less if you're living in West Virginia, Arkansas, or even South Dakota.
That boggles my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I've done well for myself, right? I have no...
Better than any of us.
Better than any of you. Apparently not Leslie. Apparently your wife's doing...
No.
There is no way in hell I'm going to have $1.4 million in cash when I retire. Who has that?
Clark Howard.
Clark, yes.
Yes.
Vinny only needs $100,000 to retire.
I
know.
He's going to be food insecure in retirement. That boggles my mind. That's a big number. Even if it's downgraded 800,000 cash, I got to start doing something different.
Sell those baseball cards.
Something. I don't know. I mean, I've got a pension and a 401k, but that's a big chunk of cash you need. Longoria says $5 million.
I know.
I was shooting high.
Will you adopt me, kid?
I was
High
shooting
maintenance.
Unbelievable. All right.
It's all those Lego.
Listen,
You're
if
going to
you're
be living in a Lego house.
They're going up.
If you're retiring soon and you got 1.4 mil just ready to roll, or 800,000, mazel tov. Kudos on you. I hope mine is not listening, because we're not going to be anywhere close to that.
Ramen.
Yes. All right. Coming up after a quick break, we're going to go back to Capitol Hill, try to find out the latest on the budget battle and what deficits it might bring to these United States. But first, let's check these Atlanta roads. Live with the latest, it's Mike Shields.
And Mark, still watching a crash in Marietta. It's been on the right shoulder, but back in a right lane again. 75 southbound North Marietta Parkway exit 265. That's enough to slow you down starting back at I-575. Still trying to recover in Gwinnett County. 85 southbound rough, leaving 316, getting past Indian Trail Road. And watch out for road work slowing you down to DeKalb County. Once again, I-20 eastbound past Westlake Chapel Road, exit 68. That's in a right lane. This report is brought to you by Purple Mattress. Purple Mattress and pillows are up to 75% off for a limited time. Shop by their showroom at the outlet shops in Atlanta this weekend for amazing deals. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
I try even when I don't agree.
The opinions expressed are his.
To at least exercise some basic empathy.
And that's what makes you listen.
Coming in like a wrecking ball, taking it all out. It's fantastic.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for The Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
You know your old roof doesn't really care for this recent rain. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Your roof is your front line of defense to stop water from getting inside. Not sure about your roof? Think of Findlay first. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
We're going to get this in final form and pass it in accordance with our original deadline, and that was to do it before Memorial Day.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, progress on the budget bill? ? Joining us live from the nation's capital, CBS News Capitol reporter Torian Small. Torian, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning. Glad to be with you.
So I don't know the inside lingo, but it got out of committee, which was a big step, I guess, and now the budget heads to Congress. Razor-thin majority for the Republicans. Speaker Johnson confident that this budget bill is going to pass?
Right. 218 is the magic number there. That's the number of Republicans needed to pass this out of the chamber to head to the Senate. What we saw happen last night was the House Budget Committee, which is the panel that puts together all these different pieces from different committees to form this one big, beautiful bill. They decided to pass it with the help of 3 Republicans who previously voted no. They decided to change their votes to present in order for it to reach the slim majority threshold needed in order for this to go through. The sticking points for some of those holdups, like Chip Roy of Texas, was the concern that some of the spending cuts didn't go deep enough, especially as it relates to safety net programs where they could get the majority of funds necessary to offset the massive $3.8 trillion price tag that comes with expanding Trump's 2017 tax bills. Apparently, according to Chip Roy, he had conversations with leadership that he felt was hopeful. He said that he's not completely over some of his concerns, but he's confident by the time it gets to the 4-4 vote, they would have made the changes necessary for him to give his confident vote for this during that actual full vote.
Looking at, I don't know if we've seen the entirety of the bill, but I've seen projections, and President Trump ran on reducing the deficit, but it looks like this big budget bill increases the deficit year after year after year.
Yeah, I mean, and part of that is, again, that tax bill is a big weight to this bill, and that was some concerns that we saw from some Republicans, and just where they had to take funding from without it being, that disastrous for their constituents. Would have been safety net programs. I mean, again, Medicaid is the biggest thing on the chopping block here. Republicans seem to be united on not touching Medicare or Social Security. But, I mean, we have heard for the past couple of months now, Speaker Johnson saying that if they do gut these safety net programs, it's because they're looking to weed out waste, fraud, and abuse inside them. That hasn't necessarily been sticking, especially as we talked about, town halls that these congressmen have had, and they face quite a bit of backlash for touching those programs. But we'll see what the final bill looks like. Right now, though, as it stands, the biggest change could be these work requirements attached to Medicaid. That would require folks without children to prove that they're either working or volunteering or in school for at least 80 hours a month. Without that could kick off millions of people from the program.
Final quick question, Torian. What's the legislative timeline here?
Well, Speaker Johnson, and I got to give him credit, he said that he wants this to pass before Memorial Day weekend. Obviously, that would mean this coming weekend. And the biggest holdup was getting it out of its committee, out of the Budget Committee. Now that we're past that hurdle, it appears that they're still on track to have this passed by this week. It could be as early as Wednesday. I believe it's a 72-hour rule that Congress members have to review any legislation before the floor. But what likely will happen is it'll get down to the wire for more negotiating to happen, and it likely will pass either Thursday or Friday.
Torian Small, CBS News Capitol Hill reporter. Big development there. Torian, as always, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. We'll go back to D.C. Any minute now. President Trump's going to start off that important phone call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. We'll monitor that. And 10:18, just 20 minutes or so away. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Shop sweet savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 16-ounce packs of organic strawberries for $3.99 each with Prime through May 20th. Have them as a delectable treat or add them to your favorite baked goods. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Customers often ask, what's the right mattress for me? At the Original Mattress Factory, our answer is always the same. It's all about personal preference. You should select the one that feels right to you because there isn't a one-mattress-fits-all solution. That's why we offer a selection of quality and comfort choices for every preference. And our sales team will help you find the right product for your specific needs. At the Original Mattress Factory, we have the right mattress for just about everyone. Stop by to find yours today.
For over 8 years now, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain gone. Hey, it's Mark Arum. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissues in your achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing that old tissue. Best part, with QC Kinetics, no drugs, no surgery, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural, cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life, truly your best pain-free life. Call 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. 285-8026.
News, weather,
Traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Happening right now, homicide detectives on the scene at a murder in Stone Mountain. Police say this is on Salem Drive in unincorporated Stone Mountain. We have few details right now. The few details are being released. We'll bring you more as we get it on this developing story. Your weather for today, partly to mostly cloudy, warm and humid. A few pop-up storms are possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Your afternoon high right there around 86. Former President Joe Biden facing a serious health challenge. He revealed that he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer and it has spread to his bones. This morning, the former president took to X to thank well-wishers for lifting up his family with love and support. White House correspondent Weijia Zhang has more on what's next.
In a statement, the former president's office described his cancer as a more aggressive form of the disease, and said that he and his family are reviewing treatment options.
And Governor Kemp saying today that all Georgians are sending sincere wishes to former President Biden for successful treatments and a full recovery. President Trump will soon be calling Russian President Vladimir Putin to talk about the war with Ukraine. The White House saying that Trump will call Ukrainian President Zelensky after he talks with Putin. President Trump has urged the two sides to reach a ceasefire deal at the end of April. He said that he wanted to see a deal reached in 2 weeks or less. Leaders from Britain, France, Germany, and Italy all talked with President Trump yesterday. Check back for updates on this story. A six-figure fraud scheme ends with a Johns Creek teen behind bars.
Authorities say William Chadwick Jones opened a business account at a Synovus Bank branch in Alpharetta and deposited several checks totaling nearly $550,000 using the mobile app. Police say Jones began moving money around quickly using wire transfers, Zelle deposits, and debit card purchases, and even using some of that cash to hire a criminal attorney in connection to another fraud case. And to top it all off, authorities tell Channel 2 Action News when the 19-year-old was arrested in Johns Creek, he was in a Porsche that he purchased with some of that fraudulent money as well. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
Spend a lot of time on social media. Well, according to a new study today, there's an association between loneliness and social media platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and some dating apps. But Dr. Ben Reagan says the study also finds
social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where there isn't much, you don't really know the people who you are interacting with. There was actually no association.
He does say the one app that seemed to lessen loneliness was WhatsApp. All right, check the freezer. A major ice cream recall. Nearly 18,000 containers of ice cream and frozen yogurt are being recalled because of possible plastic contamination.
Blue Bunny and Halo Top are recalling 22 different flavors across the U.S. The FDA has categorized the recall as a Class 2, meaning anyone who has eaten the product could suffer temporary or medically reversible adverse health consequences. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
All right, we all know it costs a lot to get our hair done. It costs a lot. And a new report from consumer analytics platform Civic Science finds that more than 40% of typical salon customers say they're now doing their hair less in a salon, and they're doing it at home. Nearly a quarter has stopped going altogether. Half of those surveyed said saving money was the biggest reason. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 27 at 42,627. NASDAQ is also down more than 0.5%, and the S&P is also in the red. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiler Mark McKay looking at your roads on this Monday morning.
Good morning, Sabrina. A little slow zone out of northwest Atlanta toward Midtown. JamCam shows us a crash smack dab center lane. I-75 southbound before 17th Street, keeping you slow back to Northside Drive. Northbound connector has really improved from the morning commute. Still a bit slow as you leave Georgia State Center Park Stadium. You'll break free north of John Lewis Freedom Parkway. 400 picking up a slow zone as you leave 285 rolling out of Sandy Springs toward Buckhead southbound. And I-85 still a slow go of it, leaving Pleasant Hill Road as you work your way south toward Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly to mostly cloudy today, warm and muggy, high 86. A few scattered rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, hot and humid, high 89. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Cooling down on Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 82.
It is cloudy and 74 degrees here in Midtown Atlanta. 74 in Fairburn. Sandy Springs has 72 degrees right now. We will have more news at 10:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang with us today. Deborah is the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Coming up in 13 minutes. That's it. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. Again, that is just 13 minutes away. And then 11:37. I don't know how she sprung it, but we'll be giving away tickets to Metallica at the Benz. All week we'll have tickets for Metallica at the Benz. So keep it locked right here to the Mark Aram Show on WSB. Updating a lot of big stories today. Right now, allegedly, President Trump is having a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, trying to get negotiations back on between Russia and Ukraine. After the president finishes that call, he will then have a phone call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. And after he finishes that call, he will have a phone call with the NATO leadership. So a busy day today for President Trump. Busy day for Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary. She just wrapped up her daily briefing, was asked about the big budget bill that passed committee last night.
This bill will give Americans the largest tax cuts in our nation's history. When Republicans pass the bill, Americans will be keeping more of their hard-earned money and taking home much bigger paychecks.
So there's the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, within the last hour at her press briefing. Going to get some more audio from her and pass it along to you. A couple of big stories I want to talk about. First off, did you see that Brooklyn Bridge story, Deborah, over the weekend?
That was so weird.
I was like, what? A boat crashed into the Brooklyn, the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, right? Even if you hate those damn Yankees, you got to admire the Brooklyn Bridge and its iconic status. But apparently, and this is where I got really confused, a Mexican naval vessel crashed in to the Brooklyn Bridge with deadly consequences. 2 people were killed, 19 others injured, 2 still in critical condition when a Mexican Navy ship with 277 people on board crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge Saturday night. CBS correspondent Chanel Call has more.
2 crew members were killed, including a 20-year-old female cadet identified Sunday. 19 others were injured, and 2 remain in critical condition. Many witnesses stayed by the river's edge well into the night, offering support in Spanish to the Mexican sailors. The 300-foot vessel is a training ship for the Mexican Navy.
That's weird, right? They were on some sort of like PR tour, Deborah, where they were in the United States.
Yeah, it sounds like they were kind of hitting all these ports, and they were planning to go to Europe as well.
Yeah, but did you see the video of?
Oh yeah.
But they were like sailors on the sails, like I don't know, like if it was to show off their expertise, but it was really weird. They got the Brooklyn Bridge, by the way, back up running like 30 minutes later, which is pretty insane considering it was 2 people died and 2 others critically injured. Apparently, the NTSB is now investigating that ship. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more.
The NTSB investigators arrived last night. They will begin working in earnest today. One of the things that they're going to look at is if there's any kind of recorder on board this ship that would give them some sense as to what may have failed, as well as what the communication was like on board.
Yeah, really. Just a horrible story. I wonder if that's commonplace, because I was like, why was a Mexican naval ship, in New York City? I wonder if if the United States has a similar program, or like, oh, we have the U.S. Navy ship going down the Thames in Europe or anything like that. But horrible story. 2 dead, 2 still in critically injured. One other crazy story was that explosion out in California in Palm Springs at the fertility clinic. I don't know if you guys picked up on that over the weekend. The FBI now says the suspect, believed to be the perpetrator of the fertility clinic bombing in Palm Springs, California, has died in the attack, which also injured 4 other people. Andres Gutierrez is in California.
The FBI said they're aware of his online ramblings, railing against in vitro fertilization. Dr. Maher Abdallah owns the clinic.
The IVF lab is intact, untouched, unharmed, so the embryos are safe.
This is the only IVF clinic within 100 miles. Emery Romero is thankful her embryos are safe.
Oh my gosh, I have embryos frozen there. Like, what is going on? What's going on with my embryos? There's so many families that have so much hope in this clinic.
So apparently, the suspect who died and 4 people injured, all the embryos are safe. I think that's the only IVF clinic within 100 miles. So when it happened, I was like, what's the motive here? Apparently, the suspect who's now dead was this radical, like, the world is too overpopulated kind of a person. Like, we've got to stop making babies. Now, I personally think we're getting close to the limit. 8 billion people. It's, with food insecurity on the rise and so many people, fleeing war-torn areas, I'm like, maybe we've hit the limit with 8 billion. But that's crazy to think. Oh, well, we have too many people, so I'm gonna blow up all the embryos at the IVF clinic. That's just out of bounds bananas. But thankfully, the embryos are okay. 4 people at the clinic were injured. The only person that died was the suspect there. But I mean, that's a terrorist act, right? That's got to be considered a terrorist act. The top story this morning, we talked to Stephen Portnoy from CBS or ABC News earlier at the top of the show, talking about the Biden cancer diagnosis. Let's go and get some more now. This is CNN's Arlette Saenz.
Well, President Joe Biden is at his home in Wilmington, Delaware with his family as they are reviewing the next steps of what treatment will look like after he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. Now, to provide a bit of a timeline here, last Monday we learned that Biden recently was evaluated after a small nodule was found on his prostate. A statement that was released yesterday by his personal office, they said that he had been experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. Then this last Friday, he in fact received that prostate cancer diagnosis that has metastasized to his bones. Now, Biden's and his family and a team of doctors will now be working to determine what that treatment will look like. But certainly this is a moment that is quite challenging and devastating for the president's family, as well as many political allies. There has been an outpouring of support from both sides of the aisle since this diagnosis was announced. Yesterday, President Donald Trump, who Biden had faced off against in 2020 and 2024, posted on social media with lending his support, saying, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery." Biden's former Vice President Kamala Harris, also posting on social media, "Joe is a fighter, and I know he will face this challenge with the same strength and resilience and optimism that have always defined his life and leadership." And he also got some well wishes from former President Barack Obama, who had noted that nobody has done more to find breakthrough treatments for cancer in all its forms than Joe. And that's an important point because Biden and his family have had a long connection to cancer and loss as well. Of course, his son, Beau Biden, had passed away from brain cancer in 2015. And in the years that followed, Biden really worked hard to champion what he called the Cancer Moonshot Initiative to try to end cancer research now, or to fund cancer research. Now, this all comes as Biden's legacy has been challenged in recent weeks, as our colleague Jake Tapper has a new book coming out detailing some signs of mental and health and decline in Biden while he was in office. So there has been some added scrutiny, but certainly this is a challenging time for the Bidens. I'll also note May is always a difficult period as the passing of Beau Biden is on May 30th. Biden's cancer diagnosis came 2 weeks before the 10-year anniversary of his son's passing.
CNN's Arlette Saenz on the Biden diagnosis. He posted on social media this morning, and as Arlette said there, obviously even his most fervent critics wishing him a speedy recovery. Now, this obviously brought out the conspiracy theorists. We've got that big Biden bombshell book being released tomorrow, co-authored by a reporter from Axios and CNN's Jake Tapper. And that's really, we've seen some pretty damning excerpts from the book already. And there was already conspiracy theories that that the Biden announcement came out yesterday to mute any impact that the Biden bombshell book might have on his political legacy. And I said, as I said at the top of the show, there's one of three things that have happened right now. One, everything that the President Biden said yesterday is true. He just got diagnosed. The cancer is spreading to his bone. He's going to be treatment. We take everything at face value. The second possibility is that the former president was diagnosed a while ago, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, who knows? And they've been withholding that diagnosis and wanted to release it at a time that would kind of negate all the bad press that we've been seeing about how his cognitive abilities declined severely in the back half of his first term, and he was wholly unfit to serve a second term. And they were just waiting for the right time to make that announcement. I know that seems kind of shady, but that listen, it's politics, right? Anything is possible. The third option is he doesn't even have cancer. They're just making this up. I'll leave it to you to determine what you think is the most likely outcome. 1, 2, or 3, A, B, or C. It's the truth. It's true, but they held the diagnosis, or it's not true at all. We'll talk to Eric Erickson about that coming up at 10:35. Real quick, I watched an apocalyptic movie. It wasn't Apocalypse Now, but End of Days kind of movie, which is ironic because Deborah sent a story today. The best apocalyptic crops that you can grow. If the world goes to hell in a handbasket and you have to provide your own food, maybe this is a story, Deborah, we should bring in Ashley Fasca from Green and Growing on. But what are the best apocalyptic crops that we can grow?
Well, you talked about where you're going to go, right? You've always said you're going to go to Maine, but what are you going to eat if you kind of eat
Lobster.
something besides Maine? Yeah, Maine lobster. Scientists have figured out the best crops to grow that would sustain a mid-sized city. So they're saying things like peas, spinach, sugar beets, wheat, and carrots would give you the best nutritional value and the easiest to grow, especially on limited land if an apocalypse actually did happen.
I love peas and spinach. I could live on peas and spinach. And all the fish and lobster I can get when my bug out spot in Maine. Don't tell anyone where my bug out spot is, Deborah.
I wasn't invited to Maine, so I don't know.
You were invited. Longoria was invited. You weren't. Anyway, I apologize there. All right. Sugar peas, you said? No.
Sugar beets.
Sugar beets. I'm okay. I don't dislike beets, but I'll survive on peas and spinach if everything hits the fan. All right. It's about to hit the fan in a good way. About to give away $1,000 right here, right now. It's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz, friend, and your 10 a.m. keyword is BEST. B-E-S-T, BEST. Enter the keyword BEST into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. Your keyword is BEST, B-E-S-T. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. keyword is BEST, B-E-S-T, BEST. Good luck. Now, a check of the roadways on this mid-morning Monday, live with the latest. Smile and Mark McKay.
Hey, Mark, good morning. 10:18, and we are seeing delays on that east side perimeter as you leave Covington Highway. Maybe some new trouble in a travel lane rolling into Clarkston north of Memorial Drive, exit 41. We certainly see the slowing on the jam cam. Bit of a jam left over in Gwinnett County. That hasn't loosened up. The 85 southbound ride between Pleasant Hill, 316, and Indian Trail Road. Continue on 85 inside the perimeter. Going to be slow leaving the 400 merge, and that means slow traffic out of Buckhead back before Sidney Marcus. This report sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Cool down at Whole Foods Market. Ben & Jerry's and Talenti frozen pints with novelties are 2 for $8 with Prime through May 27th while supplies last. Shop in-store online. Terms apply. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. A few years back, there was a surge of online mattress companies offering a one-feel-fits-all mattress. Eventually, they all added more selections. Why? They discovered what we've known for over 30 years. Everyone has unique preferences. At the Original Mattress Factory, we hand-build a range of comfort choices so that you can select the one that suits you best. Don't rely on someone else's opinion. Try out a variety of options and find the one that's right for you. OriginalMattress.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
Summertime means lots of home time, so give your family a clean start with help from Zerorez. Why settle for old-school chemicals and harsh soaps when you can enjoy ZR water technology for carpets that stay cleaner longer? Right now, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. That is 3 rooms for $129. Mention me, Chris Chandler, to secure this deal or book online at ZerorezAtlanta.com and ask about Zerorez commercial cleaning, too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
Jackie Kennedy Onassis was a model of courage and dignity for all Americans and all the world.
That was former President Clinton 31 years ago today. Jackie O passed away following a battle with lymphoma. May 19th, 1994. I was in college. I remember that really vividly. I'm a nerd. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I'm a nerd. I collect newspapers, like famous New York Daily News newspaper covers, and I remember buying a bunch the next day when Jackie O. Now, I don't know if this is irony or what, but so 31 years ago today, Jackie O passed away. Another moment in history happened 63 years ago today.
Happy birthday to you.
May 19th, 1962. Democrats staged a fundraiser at Madison Square Garden that was billed as a birthday salute to President Kennedy, best remembered for Marilyn Monroe extending her best wishes in this song. I'll just leave it there. But how about that, Deborah? Same day, May 19th, 63 years ago, she sang that song, and then 31 years ago, Jackie O passed.
Huh.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Don't you think? Hey, in case you missed it, the 10 a.m. keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz is BEST, B-E-S-T, like Pete Best. Right, Deborah? Pete Best, yeah.
Pete Best.
Enter the keyword BEST into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have 4 minutes, that's it, to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is BEST, B-E-S-T. And most importantly, don't forget, if you get a call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Again, the keyword is BEST, B-E-S-T, BEST. Good luck. All right, Sabrina's standing by with news, weather, and traffic. We'll update the markets. And when we come back, Eric Erickson joins us live. Going to talk to him about the big budget bill passage through the committee yesterday, the Biden cancer diagnosis, and all things local politics. So much more to come with Eric Erickson. He joins us live next. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
That's your garage door. Almost broken, but technically not broken yet. And you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So you don't fix it, 'cause it ain't broke. And it gets worse. Until one day, 2 a.m., raining alligators, carload full of dry cleaning, you push the button, and out of nowhere, guess what's broke? Your garage door. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. A garage door that's almost broken can actually do more damage than one that's fully broke. Jammed up parts put an extra strain on the motor, rollers out of whack stress the tracks and the belts. Fix it early while it's still a simple repair and before your car gets locked out or locked in. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and make it right. Because if it's almost broke, you fix it.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Hey, if you've been thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, now you can sell your home fast and for more than you expect. Hey, Sean Hannity here. One of the most stressful things about selling your home is not being able to control the timing. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate, they allow you to receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. No showings, no open houses, no waiting around wondering whether your home is going to sell or not. It's that simple. One of their clients, BR, said, quote, Mark Spain Real Estate sold my home within 30 days. We received 4 offers in just 1 week. And thanks to them, the process was by far the easiest and the quickest. With over 12,500 5-star reviews, well, you can trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast and for the most money. Now choose when you want to move with the Mark Spain Real Estate guaranteed offer and close with confidence. Just go to markspain.com to find out what your guaranteed offer will be. That's markspain.com and you can start packing.
Attention seniors, do you want more personalized healthcare with more one-on-one time with your doctor? Then join us at the grand opening of CenterWell Marietta. CenterWell offers senior-focused primary care that's centered on you. Celebrate with us Tuesday, May 20th, near the Walmart off Highway 41 here in Marietta from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, visit CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. This just in, a 4-year-old boy has been killed in an ATV crash in Forsyth County. According to police, a 16-year-old was driving the vehicle. The 4-year-old was a passenger when it crashed last night just before 8 o'clock on Valley Stream Drive near Campground Road. Both boys were thrown from the ATV. Neither was wearing a helmet. The 16-year-old taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The 4-year-old died at the scene. No names have yet been released. Your weather for today, partly to mostly cloudy, warm and humid. A few pop-up storms are possible this afternoon with a high of 86, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. This is also new at 10:30. It is now official. We've just gotten word this morning from Forsyth County authorities confirming the body recovered from Lake Lanier last week is a kayaker who had been missing for several days.
The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office says the body they pulled from the lake Friday is that of 43-year-old Dustin Valencia of Cumming. He disappeared mid last week after leaving home in his car. It was found near Lanier Shore. His kayak and paddle were later recovered from the lake by a dock worker. His body was found 51 feet underwater in a nearby cove. The sheriff's office says his death is still under investigation. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Now in Gwinnett County, police are on the scene right now of a murder. This is on Salem Drive and unincorporated Stone Mountain. Few details are being released at this time. We'll bring you more on this developing story as we get it. Now to Washington, the White House press briefing was moved up several hours today. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying it was a busy day, and she was asked about former President Biden's cancer diagnosis.
Spoke to the president again about the former president's health diagnosis last night, and he wanted to extend his warmest wishes to the former president and his family.
And Georgia Governor Kemp also sending well wishes to the former president and his family. A child care advocacy group saying that many families are still struggling to afford daycare for their children.
Child Care Aware of America says the shortage of child care facilities eased some last year as new centers opened and more family child care homes were licensed. That reversed a years-long downward trend, but the affordability gap has grown larger in recent years. Last year, the cost of child care per child was almost 30% higher on average than it was back in 2020. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
How do you plan on traveling this weekend? The number of travelers this Memorial Day weekend expected to be record-breaking. AAA forecasting 45 million Americans will hit the road between May 22nd and the 26th for the holiday weekend. That would break the previous record set back in 2005. More than 39 million people expected to travel by car. Over 3.5 million travelers are expected to get to their destination by plane, an almost 2% increase from last year. Speaking of traveling, you ever heard of glamping? It's a glamorous camping trip, meaning that you have heating and air and other things like even bathrooms, hot tubs, and pools at some locations. Well, HGTV has ranked the best glamping experience in Georgia, and it is Pine Mountain RV Resort up in Pine Mountain, Georgia. According to HGTV, Pine Mountain RV Resort features 4 safari-inspired glamping tents, in addition to campsites, RVs, cabins, cottages, and yurts. The luxury tents sleep 2 to 4 people and have in-suite bathrooms, covered private decks, and even Wi-Fi. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 64 at 42,590. NASDAQ is also down, so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay has a look at the roads.
Travel advisory now rolling through Norcross on the Jam Cam. Crash involving a box truck. A couple of left center lanes are knocked out. I-85 southbound exit 102 Beaver Ruin Road. Things are starting to stack up now back at Highway 316. You can avoid it by using Satellite Boulevard. North side perimeter is in pretty good shape. A little slow, though, as you work your way between Dunwoody and Sandy Springs, approaching Ashford Dunwoody Road, and rolling out of the Lenox Mall area on 400 South. You're in some slow traffic on 400 southbound at the I-85 interchange. In fact, hitting the brakes at Sidney Marcus Boulevard. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Epwords. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy with a high of 86. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms with the heating of the day. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 89. Watching for scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Wednesday cooling down, high 82.
It is 74 degrees in Johns Creek and Dunwoody, 76 right now in Riverdale. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The Morning Rush Hour.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the
Evening
median.
rush
It
hour.
is an absolute mess.
And everything in between.
Also, bring the speeds down. The rain is falling on 75 and 575.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The One Big Beautiful bill also provides critical protections of Medicaid, which will strengthen
Press
and
Secretary
preserve the program.
Caroline Levitt at her press briefing this morning talking about the budget, what Eric Erickson thinks about the budget. He joins us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
One of the biggest repairs on your biggest investment would be the foundation on your home. Mark Beckham here with Atlanta Ramjack. Other companies offer many different services and then try to upsell their customers something they don't even need. That's not what Atlanta Ramjack does. Foundation repair is all we do. We send only the most trained experts in the field and give you the best materials and an honest appraisal of what your real problem is, not more than what you need. Schedule your free estimate today at atlantaramjack.com.
10:37 on this really busy news day Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 1 hour from right now, Deborah's got a pair of tickets to give away to see Metallica, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Must miss. One of the greatest. I've never given away Metallica tickets on the air. And then right after the new news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000. Prior to the Eric Erickson Show, who now joins us live. Eric, are you a big Metallica guy? Yay or nay?
I love them.
So excited. They're coming to... You know what, Deborah? Put aside a pair of tickets for Eric and a +1 for the...
Ooh.
Yeah, the Metallica. Now, these are going to be like Clark Howard seats, not Eric Erickson seats. Is that okay with you?
Oh, yeah. That's totally fine.
All right, there you go. Eric joins us every Monday this time. We'll start with the big, beautiful budget bill. Got out of committee yesterday. Rare that we see our representatives on Capitol Hill on a Sunday. How big was it to get out of committee? What's the bill's future?
Yeah, on a Sunday it could still die in the House. Here's the problem is they advanced Medicaid reform to basically 2026, which conservatives wanted, and the Green New Deal grants. They're going to start cutting them in 27, 28 instead of 29, 2030. Well, that helps the moderate or the conservatives in the House. The moderates aren't too happy with it, so they could still kill it. Ralph Northam of South Carolina says he might still kill it. And then the Senate says it's dead on arrival. Senate Republicans, Rick Scott, Rand Paul, not too happy with it. Susan Collins not happy with it. So it's still got a struggle to go, but they might be able to get the votes out of the House, just with moderates knowing the Senate Republicans are probably going to wipe it out.
I don't know the details of the bill, but the reporting I've seen is that, and this is what matters to me most. I know it's just me; it's not a majority of the Americans, but that the budget adds to the deficit. Like I thought the goal was to get in and knock down the deficit. Why do we see the increase in trillions of dollars over the life of this bill?
Well, and therein lies the problem. The way the Congressional Budget Office accounts for it, it doesn't consider dynamic scoring. That is, if it boosts the economy grows, it brings in more revenue, it offsets it. Congressional Budget Office doesn't do that. The Republicans say it will actually have that effect. It'll grow the economy, bring in more revenue. I got to tell you, they said this last time, and it certainly brought in more revenue, but they continue to spend so much, the deficit keeps going up. And hey, Mark, this is really the problem that the Republicans have on this package, is that the deficit continues to rise. Our now interest rate on the federal debt goes above 5% because of the Moody's downgrade. They're going to run the country off the fiscal cliff sooner than expected unless they make more cuts, and that's the concern for the conservatives in the House.
I'm glad you brought up Moody's. How concerned or not concerned should the listeners be about that downgrade?
Not really, to the extent that it was the last one not downgrading, and there is a partisan issue there. One of the leaders at Moody's was a Biden advisor who kept giving Biden a pass on his stuff. So the Republicans have a valid point there. At the same time, though, we know the real world effect this morning is that the debt service rate that the government pays has gone up above 5% because of the Moody's downgrade. That now makes the amount of money we have to pay just on the interest on the national debt more than anything else in the budget.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. You mentioned President Biden, the bombshell announcement yesterday, the cancer diagnosis. A lot of people questioning the timing of this diagnosis with that big Tapper book being set to release, I believe, tomorrow. Your initial reaction to the cancer diagnosis?
Listen, first reaction for everybody should be praying for the man. This is not good. And at his age, radical chemotherapy and the things he would need, probably not good. So the question is, does he do palliative care? At the same time, I don't think it's a coincidence. They trotted this out after the bombshell audio release, her conversation, to distract from it. You now certainly have a coordinated Democratic effort saying, oh, we should drop all of this. He's dying of cancer. He's got cancer. But it's not really about Joe Biden. It's about the cover-up around Joe Biden. And even MSNBC had on Zeke Emanuel and two other doctors today saying there's no way he just got this level of prostate cancer. He's had to have it for a number of years. So why haven't we been told about it? In fact, all of his bills of health from doctors at the White House said everything was fine. The only person who ever raised doubts about Joe Biden was himself. In 2022, he made a statement about how he and many of his friends have cancer. And then the White House rushed out and said, no, he doesn't have cancer. He misspoke. The question is, how long have they been covering up all of this stuff?
Well, that was one. I said there's three scenarios at the top of the show. One, we take it at face value. He was diagnosed last week, and it is what it is. Two, he's been sitting on this diagnosis for how long, and then they timed it. Or three, he doesn't have cancer at all, and they're just lying. So you think option two is that they've known about this, and they timed the announcement to try to mute the Tapper book?
Yeah, I absolutely think between the Tapper book and the Robert Hur audio, I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence. The Robert Hur audio dropped late Friday, and then over the weekend, suddenly we learned Joe Biden has this very advanced form of prostate cancer that's metastasized to his bone. Suddenly no one's talking about the Robert Hur audio, which all but confirms the Republican concerns about Biden were right.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it dropped Friday afternoon, so folks listening might not even know what you're talking about. This Hur audio, was it Axios that asked for a Freedom of Information request? So they got this audio. Hur was the special counsel, right? Was that his title?
Yes, he was the special counsel investigating Joe Biden keeping classified documents
in his house. And then he did this investigation and then basically came out and said he's just an old forgetful man, right? And we wanted more, we didn't get more, but now we're starting to get the audio. What was that audio that was released for folks that missed it?
So there was an interview conducted by Robert Hur with Joe Biden, and at the time Robert Hur came out and said based on the interview, he thinks that a jury wouldn't convict Joe Biden, even though a crime probably was committed, because he comes across as a old man with a bad memory. And Democrats seized that and said this is a partisan witch hunt. This was a Trump funded U.S. attorney who stayed on. this was not good. He was making conclusions and wasn't a neurologist. Major news networks were dismissive of it. The Atlantic, the New York Times were all dismissive of the conclusion. Well, now we've got the audio, and it turns out he was very accurate. Joe Biden couldn't remember basics, couldn't remember names. It's not just he couldn't remember dates. He couldn't remember basic facts. Everything that Robert Hur characterized it was accurate. And now, of course, members of the media who were very dismissive of the Robert Hur audio are now like, we can't now talk about this because Joe Biden's got cancer. We got to move on.
And on the, so just some audio was leaked, but after that leaking, a number of media outlets have now requested the full audio. Is that going to come to fruition?
I absolutely think it's going to come to fruition. Now, there's just no way to get around it. The cat's out of the bag, so to speak. They're not going to be able to avoid this.
Interesting. Eric Erickson joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Apparently, President Trump just got off the phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin, about to have a phone call with the Ukrainian President Zelensky. I mean, I don't see an off-ramp for anyone in this Russia-Ukraine war. I know President Trump's growing frustrated. Are there any endgame solutions where we can end this war and both sides declare victory?
I don't know that there are. And J.D. Vance was actually just on Air Force One, essentially saying that this Putin doesn't seem to want to get out of the war, and at some point we're going to have to realize this isn't our war. Now, this is a problem because, I mean, all Putin has to do is say, I'm not going to negotiate, and J.D. Vance wants to say, well, then we have to get out of the war. I think that's a terrible foreign policy decision to allow the Russians to control our timing of engagement or not.
The threat of increased tariffs at this point, I mean, what isn't tariffed with Russia? Does President Trump have an ace in the hole that he can play in this?
Not that I know of. What he can do is recommit to the Ukrainians, because now we have a rare earth mineral rights deal with them. He's going to want to make further investments in that country.
Final question, Eric. Anything popping in Georgia when it comes to the forthcoming governor and Senate race?
You know, it's going to be interesting to see what other names jump into this Senate race, because you've got John King in there now. You've got, what's his name, the Buddy Carter from South Georgia. What other Republicans get in? We know President Trump specifically engaged to keep Marjorie Taylor Greene out. He and Brian Kemp seem to have a name they're trying to work together to get in the race. We don't know who it is, though.
Doug Collins?
I don't know that it's him, considering he just got into the VA. So I don't know. There are a couple names floating. I'm just not sure who it actually is.
Scotty Scheffler?
That would be fantastic. Although, well, yeah, I guess he's not technically a felon now, so he could vote for
Rory
him.
McIlroy? I'm just throwing names out there and see.
Listen, that Scheffler yesterday, my gosh, what an amazing
Unbelievable. Eric, what's coming up on the show today, buddy?
I'll start with the Biden stuff and get into the tariffs, but the Heritage Foundation has been doing an engaged campaign to basically say, if you criticize Israel, you're on the side of Hamas, and now the media is angry about it, but it's actually helped tremendously turn the tide of public opinion towards Israel.
The nationally broadcast Eric Erickson Show, now on my station growing up, WTIC in Hartford.
There you go.
Chuck told me about that, and Fisher, and I was like, get out of here. That's amazing. Another feather in the Erickson syndication cap, and I'll be listening live at noon, my friend.
Thank you.
There you go. Eric Erickson, noon to 3. Must listen, especially on busy news days like today. All right, still to come, we're going to go at 11:05 to Amanda Albright from Bloomberg, talking about what we discussed there briefly with Eric, the U.S. credit rating, and doesn't it impact the state's credit rating? I don't know if you know this, but every state of the union has their own credit rating. Is there a chance Moody's could downgrade states' credit rating on the heels of the U.S. credit rating? But first, let's check this Monday morning drive around town. Live with the latest, Smile and Mark McKay.
Not in good shape, marked between Duluth, Norcross. Travel advisory, although most of I-85 southbound now shut down at Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102. Georgia State Patrol shutting this down to allow a HERO unit to get in there and drag a couple of damaged vehicles off to the right. They've got the box truck on the shoulder, but 2 more damaged vehicles to go. So this could be an extended closure that'll keep you stopped on 85 back at Highway 316. Satellite Boulevard, one way around it. That's probably your best way. That runs adjacent to I-85. You can also think about Buford Highway, but again, most of 85 southbound in Norcross currently shut down with a crash at Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102. Delays on I-20 passing Six Flags, trying to get into the I-285 interchange, and then outbound on I-20 into Cab through the work zone, seeing the brake lights I-20 eastbound at Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Listening to 95.5 WSB pays.
No way!
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
That is awesome.
5 chances a day to win $5,000.
Download the WSB app and get ready for the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Oh my God.
From 95.5 WSB.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Aram here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out this fresh deal on General Mills Giant Size cereal. Select 20 to 29 ounce varieties or 3 for only $10 when you buy 3 with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. What makes them my experts? Well, for starters, when you have Ben Hill Renovations upgrading your outdoor living space, you're dealing with professionals. You have a company building to code, current and future. You have a company pulling permits when needed, with a dedicated project manager for every job, superior craftsmanship from over 60-plus years of experience, and all backed by their workmanship warranty. Whether you want a screened-in porch, an outdoor living area, a multi-story wraparound deck, or just a simple deck with a set of stairs, Ben Hill Renovations has you covered. Plus, they offer multiple financing options, up to 18 months, no interest with affordable monthly payments. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com and set up an appointment, or visit their showroom and speak with a designer. You won't be disappointed. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
10:34 on the Mark Arum Show. Monitoring the big international story, President Trump was set to have 3 phone calls today in successive order. 10 a.m. was going to call Russian President Vladimir Putin. Then after that, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. And then after that, some of the NATO leaders. Apparently, there's been a change to that schedule this morning. Elena Treen at the White House.
That's how it appears, Wolf, according to our colleagues, our international reporters at CNN, that he actually had already spoken with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, we also know, according to a U.S. official who told this to our colleague Kevin Liptak, that the president's phone conversations with Vladimir Putin have also kicked off just moments ago. All of this, of course, very notable and significant because there is so much pressure right now on this administration. We've been hearing it now from Secretary of State Rubio yesterday, who also met with Zelensky in person alongside Vice President J.D. Vance, that really now is the moment. They have to decide whether or not Putin is serious about wanting to actually and ultimately agree to a ceasefire and try to find peace between those two countries. And that's really what we heard Vance say this to reporters today, that this phone call is about. Now, the White House has been very skeptical to talk about, expectations for this, whether or not the president is going to really push for Putin to agree to a ceasefire. And if he doesn't, what does that mean? Will the President Donald Trump push for more sanctions, as we've heard many people, Republicans and Democrats alike, say that Trump should be doing? All of that unclear. Now, we were promised from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt this morning that we would get a readout from some of these calls once they wrap. Again, we now know, according to a U.S. official, that the president's phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin has begun. These typically, I just want to give you some insight, those calls typically take longer because there is a translator involved. So it's unclear, when these are actually going to wrap. But we were promised that we would get some sort of readout from this White House, whether it's the press secretary or from the president himself. We know he often likes to post about these calls on social media. We are also expected to see Trump in public at a Rose Garden ceremony later today. So again, hopefully we will get more details, but these calls have begun, maybe not exactly in the order that they had laid out. Now it's appearing as if Zelensky and Trump spoke first. Now he is speaking with Putin, but hopefully more information to share with you soon, both.
President Trump famously wrote the book, the best-selling book, The Art of the Deal. If he can pull this off and negotiate an end to the Russia-Ukraine war, that would be the signature deal of his lifetime, for sure. So again, the timeline of the calls, questioned right now. But again, President Trump has already spoken to the Vladimir Zelensky, speaking to Putin now, and then maybe the NATO leadership after. But obviously a massive, massive story. If there are any updates, we will provide them for you throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. All right, markets are down a little bit, but not as bad as we thought after Moody's says, sorry, United States, we're going to drop your credit rating. I think we all can relate on a personal level to that. What about our state? The state of Georgia's got a credit rating. Is that going to be impacted? Coming up after news, weather, and traffic, Amanda Albright from Bloomberg News joins us live. 11:37 Metallica tickets. Yes, for the first time in my career, I'm giving tickets away to see Metallica at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Another chance for you to win next hour right here on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
For over 8 years now, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain gone. Hey, it's Mark Arum. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissues in your achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing that old tissue. Best part, with QC Kinetics, no drugs, no surgery, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural, cellular-level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life, truly your best pain-free life. Call 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I've worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Dr. Roof. This is new at 11 o'clock. Cobb County government, which has been the victim of a recent hack, is now changing its website to increase security. Its website is transitioning from cobbcounty.org to cobbcounty.gov. Now, the old addresses will remain accessible for a limited time, but you are urged to go ahead and update any bookmarks that you might have. Any emails sent to old addresses will continue again for a limited time, but they are saying go ahead and change it now in your book if you can. The transition will officially take place on June 2nd. All right, your weather for today. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and humid. A few pop-up showers are possible this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. A 4-year-old boy has been killed in an ATV accident. He was riding and it crashed in Forsyth County. According to police, here's what happened. A 16-year-old from Cumming was driving this ATV. The 4-year-old, the passenger, it was on Valley Stream Drive when the 16-year-old hit the brakes and then turned sharply to the right. Police say that the ATV was traveling too fast and overturned. Both boys were thrown from the vehicle, neither wearing a helmet. The 4-year-old pronounced dead at the scene. The 16-year-old transported to North Fulton Medical Center with minor injuries. So far, no names have been released. We have an update on that kayaker who disappeared on Lake Lanier last week.
The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office confirms to WSB they've identified the body divers pulled from the lake on Friday as 43-year-old Dustin Valencia of Cumming. They found him after several days of searching from multiple agencies. He left home last Wednesday. His car was eventually found near the lake shoreline. His kayak and paddle were later recovered by a dock worker. The sheriff's office says the investigation into Valencia's death is still active. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A massive project to replace 3.5 miles of aging water pipe gets underway this week in DeKalb County. The months-long project south of Avondale Estates is part of the county's $4 billion plan to improve water infrastructure and follows recent water rate increases.
Over the past several decades, DeKalb County did not increase water rates at what should have been a proper rate in order to allow us to make the necessary capital improvements.
DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson saying that these projects are needed to ensure the county's future success is expected to last at least through the end of the year. A homeless shelter in Gwinnett County is reopening today.
This is a big milestone in a movement. It is a celebration of, resilience, progress, and purpose.
Lindsay Jorstad with Gwinnett County government telling us that the original center was shut down during COVID, and when it reopened in 2023, the facility then experienced some major flooding with some pipes bursting there. But now the Latin American Association Outreach Center on Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Norcross is reopened and will be able to offer services to people and service experiences those who are experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity. And Atlanta is ranked the best place to start a career, according to Wallet Hub. Atlanta topping the list overall, ranking first for professional opportunities and fifth overall for quality of life. Orlando, Florida came in second place, followed by Tampa. Austin, Texas ranked fourth. Miami finishing out the top 5. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 27 at 42,626. NASDAQ is also down, so is the S&P. Now, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams. He has a look at your Monday morning roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Not good out on the East Freeway. Anybody heading out toward Lithonia, need you to listen up. All lanes are shut down. It's a traffic red alert right now. DOT tells me it's a rollover crash. I-20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. No traffic getting through. Stacked up from 285. Westbound onlooker delays got you slow before Panola Road. Think about Covington Highway as an alternate there. If you're traveling 85 southbound out of Duluth into Norcross, crash. They're about to get it off to the right. I think they just did. 85 southbound, Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102, slow from Highway 316, and a crash downtown, 75-85 northbound before Freedom Parkway. It sits in a left center lane. The brake lights there stretch back to University Avenue. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy today, warm and muggy, high 86. A few scattered rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, hot and humid, high 89. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Cooling down on Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 82.
It is 75 degrees in Alpharetta and Commerce. Riverdale has 77 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:05 on this fast-moving Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Deborah has tickets to see Metallica to give away at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 1 hour from now, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. Monitor a couple of big stories. President Trump having a flurry of phone calls today. Apparently already talked to the Ukrainian president. Right now, probably talking to the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. And then after that call, we'll be talking to NATO leaders to discuss a possible off-ramp in this long-standing and deadly Russia-Ukraine war. We're also monitoring the markets. Down as expected, the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ down a little bit, nothing severe. This on the heels of the Moody announcement downgrading the United States credit rating. Joining us from Bloomberg News and covering the story is Amanda Albright. Amanda, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So the markets are reacting pretty much as we expected, not a severe drop right now. So the Moody's headline is the big news, but a lot of people don't know that individual U.S. states also have credit ratings.
Yes. So U.S. states also issue debt, and some of them, including the state of Georgia, are rated AAA. So that's now better than the U.S. government.
So how... I mean, Georgia AAA. I'm very proud of that, by the way. Are most states AAA rated by the bonding companies?
So over a dozen are rated AAA by Moody's. I think it's around a dozen have AAA from all three of the major ratings companies. But it is definitely a good feat to have a AAA rating. It's really important. It helps states like Georgia borrow at lower rates. I think Georgia's AAA rating is really reflective of how well managed the state's finances are, and that's the case for all states with a AAA rating. And I was looking through past reports on Georgia just as an example, and S&P has said that Georgia is basically able to better withstand a stress scenario than the U.S. government, and that's why it's eligible to be rated AAA, which is better than the U.S.
Interesting.
So I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I guess the broader question with the Moody's announcement about the U.S. credit rating, is there any chance that could trickle down to the state level and the Georgia credit rating might be under bigger scrutiny?
I think the impact will be pretty limited for states, but I definitely think it will ignite conversations about this. In the past, when we've seen downgrades, we often see governors touting their credit ratings and how they've been able to balance their budgets while the U.S. has not. And so part of the reason for that is that U.S. states are required to have balanced budgets. So most of them have different provisions, whether it's in the state constitution or state law, that require them to have a balanced budget. And so that is part of what has enabled them to have such strong credit ratings.
Amanda Albright, Bloomberg News, joining us here live on the Mark Arum Show. The fact that Moody's was the last of the three agencies to downgrade the United States' credit, how big of a deal is this, and what's it going to do to our outstanding debt?
I think it's definitely a big deal. The markets are moving on the announcement. It happened late Friday. And kind of what the impact will be is obviously lawmakers right now are talking about tax cuts again, which will only add to the deficit. And so I think that timing is super important as lawmakers in Congress are talking about adding more to the debt. We're already seeing yields increase today, and so that's only going to make debt more expensive. So I think the markets are taking this really seriously, and what yields are doing is really important for U.S. borrowing costs, which is becoming a bigger and bigger component of U.S. spending. So it is really important, and I think the timing of it as tax cuts are talked about is very important.
Final question for you, Amanda, and you might not have an answer for it. With the Moody's announcement, will this impact at all what the Fed chair decides to do with interest rates?
I think I'm sure they'll see it, but I'm unsure. So.
No, I mean that's a fair. I just popped in my head. I was like, well, I mean, if the our debt interest is going to go up, what's that going to do with the Jerome Powell's view of things? But
totally,
an unanswered question for now.
Yes.
All right, Amanda Albright, Bloomberg News. Amanda, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much.
There you go. Dow's down 10, NASDAQ's down 100. I mean, it's less than I thought it was. Bitcoin bros, crypto bros, you're loving it. Bitcoin's at 104,000 right now, up 386 points. So according to Vinny's math, when he retires, he just needs one Bitcoin. He just needs $100,000 and he'll be, fully funded for his retirement. Longoria is going to need 500 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because he
almost
needs
Lego.
He needs 5 million cash on hand.
Expensive.
All right, we'll monitor that. We'll monitor President Trump. This is the local story that made my heart sing, Deborah Green. Obviously, soft spot in my heart for all the veterans out there. Obviously, Veteran Affairs a very important issue to everyone here at WSB Radio. And there's a program going on in Cobb County that I'm fully supportive of. What can you tell us?
Yeah, this was a great story. So there's an old hotel near the Six Flags, and it's going to be renovated into basically a veterans village or permanent housing for vets that are facing homelessness. And this is all done by Tunnel to Towers. I think we've worked with them.
Absolutely,
and a donation from Home Depot. They're going to be able to do this hotel up into 92 different studio apartments. So you'll have a living space, a kitchen, and a bath for each one. And then they'll have communal spaces too. So like a gym, a business center, a cafeteria, a big commercial kitchen, so kind of like a big dorm basically. And then it'll also have veterans services on site, so case management, job training, health resources, and transportation to the VA, all right there in that one space.
I absolutely love that. And there are a number of those. I don't know what the financial future is of those hotel chains, that you'll drive by and they're always changing names and it's a tough business. I wonder if this is just the first of many of these that we'll see transformed into housing for veterans with all the benefits that Deborah just mentioned. Does it say in the reporting, Deborah, do the veterans have to pay rent? Is it fully covered by the VA, or do we not have all the details yet?
No, so they'll be responsible for paying rent, which is 30% of their income. So depending on what kind of job they'll have, and then there'll also be resources to help them find other jobs or other means there while they're there. So
gotcha. I love that story. All right, let's go back to the White House Live. Elena Treen talking about the Trump-Putin phone call.
Yes, part of this, of course, is just from what we've learned in recent days of how Russia launched the largest drone attack on Ukraine since this war began. We also know Putin did not show up last week for a face-to-face meeting with Zelensky in Turkey, despite the Russian president being the one to propose that. And so this is now really a question of how real is this idea of trying to achieve peace and getting these two sides to come together to hammer out a ceasefire. And that is really the goal of this call. We heard Vice President J.D. Vance say things along those lines earlier today, that it's really trying to figure out how serious is he, because we do know a lot of people who are close to the president, who are closely involved in some of these conversations, believe that they can't be wasting time on this. They either need to make progress or they need to move on. And so the timing of this is really why this call is so crucial. And of course, hoping to learn more from this, we have been now promised by the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt that we would get a readout. So hopefully we'll have that for you shortly, Wolf and Pam.
All right, so that's Elena Treen live right there at the White House. So Caroline Leavitt says we will get a readout of the call, which is kind of shocking to me. You won't often get readouts when, famously in the first Trump administration, when President Trump had his first sit down with Vladimir Putin, they wouldn't release a single word. Like, no, you're not going to find out what they were talking about. But the press secretary there says that we will get a readout there. Let's go now to Kyiv. Nick Payton Walsh reacting to the phone call between Trump and Putin.
So the concern here is you hatch a bad peace or you give up small amounts of territory to get a peace and then Russia comes back for you for more. Remember, this is a 10-year-old conflict, over 10 years. So I think there's a doubt in the Kremlin's sincerity. It's interesting to see President Zelensky talked to Trump before Putin. That wasn't the schedule Trump outlined on Saturday. It might suggest that Zelensky is trying to put his ideas into Trump's ear prior to the Kremlin phone call. I'm sure, if I had to guess, they will speak probably after that call as well. But it's a key moment, I think, because, yes, we've heard repeatedly this concept of, is, in the words of President Trump, is Vladimir Putin tapping him along? More ominously from J.D. Vance, the vice president, the suggestion that, look, this isn't our war. We may get to a point where we don't want to do any more. That might be music, frankly, to Russia's ears, who would desperately love nothing more than the U.S. to step away from diplomacy and from military aid and assistance to Ukraine. That would be an enormous advantage. And so I think there is a risk here, potentially, that President Trump, who arguably has overpromised since the start of his diplomacy here, ends up with very minimal gains from a Russian president who's brushed aside an original US proposal echoed by the Europeans 10 days ago now for an immediate unconditional ceasefire, brushed away Trump as an intermediary for face-to-face meetings with President Zelensky in Turkey last week, and is now engaged in this direct phone call that Trump potentially has to try and sell minimal progress to his allies as something more than that, and that Putin essentially feels emboldened because he's dragging his heels and not yet seeing consequences like the massive sanctions, secondary sanctions, that have been threatened if he doesn't move along with the ceasefire or further peace negotiations.
Nick Payton Walsh live in Kyiv, obviously a still developing story. We have been promised a readout of the call between President Trump and President Putin. We think it's ongoing right now. Again, it's going to take time because you have to have translators on both sides, but obviously it's still developing story. I know President wants to end this war, right? That would be a legacy building moment for him. I just don't see the incentive for Vladimir Putin, and I don't see Ukraine giving up wide swaths of their territory. So I don't know what kind of leverage President Trump can force into Vladimir Putin in this phone call, whether it's economic or military or sanctions or what have you. But we've come to a tipping point now. I know President Trump wants to get this done. What ace in the hole, what rabbit in his hat does he have that will force Vladimir Putin to say, all right, I'm going to stop aggressions, I'm going to withdraw troops, and I'm not going to take sizable chunks of Ukrainian land? I don't have an answer to that. But again, he wrote The Art of the Deal. This would be the biggest deal he's ever authored. By the way, that Art of the Deal is still like, since Inauguration Day, is like now on the Amazon bestseller list again.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like they just keep printing copies of it. I guess once President Trump got reelected, they were like, all right, let's make some more copies. I didn't know you could do that. You're like, we got the typeset still. We can do it. Oh, speaking of Amazon, did you hear Clark Howard this morning on Atlanta's Morning News?
Oh, what do you say about
Apparently
Amazon?
Are you the Amazon Echo gal, Deborah? Do you use that? Alexa, whatever it is?
I have those, yeah.
So apparently Amazon, again, this is according to Clark Howard. Maybe I can find it. We'll play it again. They've negated their privacy terms of agreement or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you're not actively asking Alexa questions, it's always listening.
Always.
So, and apparently Clark's like, that is not good at all. So maybe I can find that and I'll play it for you. Do you have those Clark Howard minutes, Longoria? Can you pop those up? Or find it?
I can try to find it, yeah.
All right, Vinny will try to find it. Because I was like, whoa, okay. I don't use it. Maya does.
I use it.
Deborah uses it. But
I hate the one that we have in our house. I made Leslie put it downstairs. I was like, that is not going upstairs.
yeah, well,
Why?
because
it's listening.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you saying to it?
No, it's
Well,
what he's not
nothing.
saying. It's what he's saying while it's off. That's the question. All right. We'll effort to find that, Clark Howard, in a minute. Right now, though, bad news on I-20 in DeKalb County. We have a traffic red alert live with the first and the latest. It's Alex Williams.
Yeah, DOT tells me it's an overturned vehicle crash, Mark. I-20 eastbound, just past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. It's had all lanes shut down. I've seen just now a few cars creep by, so I think DOT saying they're going to try to get this over and just block 2 right lanes, so that will continue it as a travel advisory. Nonetheless, it has cooked the ride, leaving 285. It's also causing westbound delays out of the Lithonia area. Covington Highway will get you around that. Earlier crash downtown, 75-85 northbound before Freedom Parkway. That just got moved off to the right shoulder. Slow back to University Avenue, but should start to improve. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. It's Summer Splash at Whole Foods Market. Dive into savings on grill-ready meats, organic seasonal produce, salty snacks, and more through June 10th. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Coming up Tuesday on Atlanta's Morning News, the traffic team will help you get around any issues with your commute. Christina Edwards' 5-day forecast includes a cool-off by the weekend, plus how Clark Howard says this private label company became a juggernaut. It all starts at 5 a.m. on 95.5 WSB.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163. 546.
For over 8 years now, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain gone. Hey, it's Mark Arum. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissues in your achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing that old tissue. Best part, with QC Kinetics, no drugs, no surgery, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural, cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life, truly your best pain-free life. Call 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, fresh Heritage Farm bone-in chicken drumsticks or thighs are on sale. Just $1.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's Best Choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
Some things really love the rain, like flowers and ducks. Other things, not so much, like your old roof. Dave Baker here from our roofing experts at Findlay Roofing, the Roof guys. Water is your home's #1 enemy. Your roof is your front line of defense to stop it from getting inside. Heavy rain, like we've had recently, can expose roof leaks and lead to water damage. If you're not sure how your roof is holding up, think of Findlay first and schedule a free roof analysis. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
I, Harry, take you, Megan, to be my wife.
I, Megan, take you, Harry, to be my husband.
I, Harry, take you, Megan, to be my wife. 7 years ago, I guess it's a happy 7th anniversary to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from Suits. Suits LA got canceled, Deborah, by the way, after one season. I didn't
watch it.
Yeah, me neither. No. Yeah. I'd even watch the final season of regular Suits.
What?
Once Markle left, I was like, I'm done. Are they going to last 7 years? What do you think? Prince Harry?
Yeah, they'll last.
You think they'll last?
Yeah.
Just holding on to each other as the
She's
world.
Got nothing else to do.
Well, if they reboot Suits, is her acting career over? You think
well, I think when she joined the royal family, she's not allowed to do stuff like that, even though they technically left it.
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, anyway, happy anniversary. 7 years strong. One update, I always got to squeeze in a Pope Leo update. The newly installed Pope has given an audience to two top American officials. Details from our buddy CBS's Sabina Castelfranco in Rome.
Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican the day after attending the new pontiff's inaugural mass. Vance met yesterday with Ukrainian leader Zelensky, as well as EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni. A Vatican statement said talks focused on current international issues. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
Giorgia Meloni. I'm going to try to do that. I think we've got like a 9-day streak of Pope Leo stories, so we'll continue to do that. Real quick, Deborah, I mentioned every day for me is a cheat day. There's been a list now of the riskiest foods to eat, and I believe that's because of recalls and salmonella and stuff like that. What are the foods we need to avoid?
That's exactly right. All the recalls. So I think the one that we all probably remember the most is the deli meat. Remember when we couldn't get our boar's head ham?
Yes, that's right.
Yep. So that's #1. It's the riskiest food to eat right now.
Deli meat.
Deli meat. Followed by cucumbers, which I don't eat cucumbers that often, so that's fine. Raw dairy. So think of unpasteurized milk. There's some people out there that try to do straight from the cow milk. So raw dairy. Eggs are dangerous right now, and that's probably still from the bird flu.
Mm-hmm.
Also onions, which are the worst food ever. Any leafy greens, organic carrots, and organic basil.
You notice no pasteurized processed food on that list.
Yeah.
Except, I guess, for the deli meat, maybe. All right, those are the riskiest foods. Good news. Longoria has found that Clark Howard Minute talking about Amazon. We're going to play that for you after news, weather, and traffic. And we're going to update the Biden cancer diagnosis, the announcement yesterday. More questions swirling around, though, when the president was diagnosed. When did he know he had this prostate cancer? And Deborah's got tickets to give away as soon as we get back from news to see Metallica. So much more to come. Stay with us, friends. The Mark Arum Show on WSB.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
As a business owner, if you had attempted fraud on your bank account today, how would you know? Do you have tools in place to detect and prevent it? I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Our local bankers are here to guide your company and make recommendations for your business, including fraud prevention tools like Positive Pay. This month, Ameris is offering a free on-demand cybersecurity and fraud prevention webinar. To view the webinar and learn more about how our bankers can help you protect your business, visit amerisbank.com/businessmonth. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon, only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. President Trump is holding separate calls with the leaders of Russia and Ukraine in hopes of helping facilitate an end to the war. Stacey Lynn has more.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president has grown frustrated with both Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky, and he's hoping the phone conversations will lead to progress towards a ceasefire. But she wouldn't say if President Trump would impose a new timeline to get it done.
He has made it clear to both sides that he wants to see a peaceful resolution and a ceasefire as soon as possible. But as for specifics on a timeline, I won't get ahead of the president.
Be sure and check back for updates on this developing story. So your weather for today, partly to mostly cloudy, warm and humid with a few pop-up showers possible with a high of 86. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. We told you about some major traffic backups on I-20 in DeKalb. Alex Williams will be along in just a couple of minutes to update the situation for us there. A 4-year-old boy is killed in a crash involving an ATV in Forsyth County. According to police, a 16-year-old was driving the vehicle. The 4-year-old was a passenger when it crashed last night just before 8 on Valley Stream Drive near Campground Road. Both boys were thrown from the ATV, neither wearing a helmet. The 16-year-old was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. That 4-year-old died at the scene. No names have been released. In Cobb County, the government there is changing its website. Ross Cabot with Cobb County says the website's transitioning from cobbcounty.org to cobbcounty.gov.
So we think the move from .org to .gov will be beneficial to those who use our services.
He says it will increase security, the transition officially taking place on June 2nd. Spent a lot of time on social media? Well, according to a new study, there is an association between loneliness and social media platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and some dating apps. But Dr. Ben Reagan says the study also finds
social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where there isn't much, you don't really know the people who you are interacting with. There was actually no association.
Now, the one app that seemed to lessen loneliness, according to this, was WhatsApp.
Can you tell me how to
Netflix will show viewers the way to Sesame Street later this year. The streaming giant announcing today it has reached a deal for the exclusive worldwide premiere rights for the long-running children's show. Episodes of the show's 56th season will hit Netflix the same day they premiere on PBS stations. This comes after Warner Brothers Discovery did not renew its deal with Sesame Street to be streamed on HBO Max. Netflix deal also includes the right to develop video games based on Sesame Street. And while we're talking about your kids, a child care advocacy group says many families are struggling to afford child care.
Child Care Aware of America says the shortage of child care facilities eased some last year as new centers opened and more family child care homes were licensed. That reversed a years-long downward trend, but the affordability gap has grown larger in recent years. Last year, the cost of child care per child was almost 30% higher on average than it was back in 2020. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
And as we check your money this morning, the markets, the Dow's down 61 at 42,593. NASDAQ is also down, so is the S&P. Now, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams has an update on that situation in DeKalb County.
Yeah, had all lanes blocked for a while, Sabrina. This is I-20 eastbound, just east of Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. They've contained the crash to 2 right lanes, so travel advisory continues with a jam back to 285. Also slowing those 285 ramps to I-20 eastbound. Covington Highway is a good alternate. Some westbound onlooker delays, but if you're traveling westbound out of Lithonia, I wouldn't recommend an alternate there. Just picked up a new crash downtown, 7585 northbound, just before University Avenue, exit 244. That's in 2 left lanes. Not needing an alternate there yet either. Delays not quite back toward Langford Parkway, but we'll keep an eye on it. 85 southbound out of Duluth into Norcross, still jammed up from 316, but getting better with that earlier crash at Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102, sitting on the right shoulder. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Epwards. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy with a high of 86. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms with the heating of the day. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 89. Watching for scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon through the evening hours. Wednesday cooling down, high 82.
It is 76 degrees in Kennesaw. Winder has 74, and it's 74 degrees right now in Milton. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
In general, the Gleason score ranges from 6 to 10, with 10 obviously being the worst or most aggressive. His
That's
score was
ABC
a 9,
News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula. I'll have more on President Biden's cancer diagnosis, and Deborah's got Metallica tickets to give away. Coming up next on the Mark Arum Show.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here. At Ben Hill Renovations, deck building goes on year-round. Whether your existing deck is old, rotting, and unsafe, or you just want to upgrade your outdoor living space, now is the perfect time to get the ball rolling. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com. Better yet, go to their showroom, speak with the designer, and see all that they have to offer up close. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Attention seniors, do you want more personalized healthcare with more one-on-one time with your doctor? Then join us at the grand opening of CenterWell Marietta. CenterWell offers senior-focused primary care that's centered on you. Celebrate with us Tuesday, May 20th, near the Walmart off Highway 41 here in Marietta from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, visit CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. Like me. My doctor saw one lab work number that led to a diagnosis early enough, so I still had options. That's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation. Virtual imaging's LD CT whole body scan can be invaluable, giving you time and options for early treatment. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their LDCT body scan for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Now, appointments must be scheduled in May. There are a limited number of scans available at this price, so a few minimum requirements may apply. Don't put this off. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. Deep breath. Been a busy news day. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum Show, 22 in front of noon. Right after the noon news, yours truly will give you another keyword in the 5K Day bonus splits. Yet another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. But you do not have to wait 30 minutes to win right now. For the first time in Mark Arum's long, not so illustrious broadcast history, I, via Deborah Green, am about to give away a pair of tickets to see one of the greatest rock bands of all time, Metallica. Deborah, what do we have?
Yeah, Metallica going to be at the Benz on June 3rd, and we got a pair of tickets to give away.
All right, Vinny, I don't want to work you, but the callers need to earn this one. This is such a great prize pack. Let's do the 23rd caller to 404-872-0750. 23rd caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Metallica. I'm going to play more Metallica because why the heck not? Dun, dun, dun. At Mercedes-Benz, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB. All right, enough of that. We're going to have them all week, by the way. If you missed out today, you're going to get 4 more chances to win Metallica tickets throughout the week here on WSB. All right, before we get back to President Biden's cancer diagnosis, I forgot how it came up last half hour, but there's a story about Amazon. And it reminded me as I was getting ready for work, as I do every morning, I listen to Atlanta's Morning News. And this morning, Judd was filling in for Chris Chandler. And Clark Howard, obviously, is on Atlanta's Morning News. He has these little Clark Minutes. And he was talking about the Alexa feature on your Amazon Home device. Maya uses it. I don't know how to use it. I probably would if I knew how to use it. But Clark had a warning that really caught me off guard this morning when it comes to the privacy that you might no longer have with Amazon Alexa. So Longoria found the Clark Howard Minute. Let's hear it.
We got to talk. If you have an Amazon Alexa kind of thing, you need to know that Amazon changed the privacy settings on you to no privacy at all, and you don't have a choice about it. Amazon is there listening to you even when you're not doing an inquiry of Alexa. So over and over again, you could be having a private, personal, maybe intimate conversation, and Alexa's all ears. And as happened before, turned out there were employees at Amazon having a fun time listening to people's private conversations. So you want to have a spy from Amazon in your home? Yeah, be my guest. My advice, unless Amazon changes its mind and sets real privacy in place again, don't use Alexa.
Interesting. So, Deborah, you're an Amazon Alexa user. Does that concern you at all?
No, they sent us an email months ago or weeks ago whenever it said, when it happened and I know about it. But I keep mine in my office, and I don't talk to myself in my office. So I mostly just say play music, and that's what I use it for. And
so if it's in your office and you're on the other side of the house, how far can Amazon Miss Alexa hear you from the other side of the house?
If I'm not in the room, it can't hear me, unless I'm yelling at it, I guess. But like if I'm in a different room, it can't. Yeah, if I scream at it enough, maybe. But usually just in that room. And my office is, again, it's just where I set everything, my computer up and stuff.
All right, interesting. Good time to remind you, you can listen to WSB Radio by telling Alexa, play 95.5 WSB. Got to get that plug in there. All right, continue our team coverage of the top story this morning. The breaking news yesterday, President Biden announcing colon not colon cancer, prostate cancer diagnosis. Covering the story for ABC News in D.C., Stephen Portnoy. Diagnosis of prostate cancer announced yesterday. Any more information this morning on the diagnosis, Stephen?
Well, not a tremendous amount of information, but the details help our general understanding. The first word of a possible issue came last week in a statement on Tuesday from Biden's office when they said that a nodule was found in the former president's prostate. And then yesterday, word came that on Friday of last week, the 82-year-old former president was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to the bone. And that means, according to our ABC News medical unit experts, that is an incurable cancer. But the Biden's office statement says that it appears to be hormone sensitive, which, according to the statement, would allow for effective management. And Biden and his family were said to be reviewing treatment options with the doctors. Now, behind that, the experts say that perhaps one way to manage it would be to control Biden's testosterone levels. That might be able to control the rapid growth of the cancer, even as it has spread, and that the understanding doctors generally have is that a prostate cancer such as this can be managed in a man of Biden's age for years. And so we don't know anything more. There's specific information that doctors who have not examined Biden would like to know so they can generally help the public understand what this all means. For example, the PSA level, that has not been disclosed, but the whole idea here is that this may be something that, as I say, can't be cured but can be managed over a period of years.
Stephen Portnoy from ABC joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. I can't, obviously, thoughts and prayers. We're seeing bipartisan support for the former president on social media, but I can't help but play the what-if game. What if President Biden didn't drop out of the race and was reelected to the presidency? How would this have been handled during a second Biden term, this cancer diagnosis?
Well, look, this news comes as the country is reflecting on that decision. There's, of course, the book that I think comes out tomorrow from Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson that gets at what they call a cover-up inside the White House and generally here in Washington of Biden's condition. And so, look, the fact is that the country saw how Biden had deteriorated. That led to his dropping out of the race. And now there's this news of the cancer diagnosis. So ultimately, the fact is the framers set it up so there would be a succession with a vice president ready to take over. And beyond that, Congress has laid out succession plans behind the vice president. So the point is, continuity of government is a clinical way to look at this. The political question is one that has been asked, and I think it's all part of the picture. Joe Biden was the oldest man ever to be elected president, and he was forced out of the race when he wanted a second term. If he had been reelected, this news would have hit extremely hard. A sitting president to be diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer, we've not seen that in our lifetimes.
Prior to the announcement yesterday, knives were out in D.C., about this forthcoming book and the fact that maybe President Biden wasn't up to snuff in his first term, never mind running for a second term. With this announcement of the cancer diagnosis, will things calm down, or are there still going to be some people looking for heads to chop?
A lot of impetus behind this story and the storytelling, and I don't mean of Biden's cancer diagnosis, I mean the lead up with the book that we're talking about, gets at the idea that there's a lot of liberal angst on the left. How could Donald Trump have won? How could the Democrats not have been better positioned to defeat him? I think that's a lot of the context behind all of this.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, as always, appreciate your time, Stephen.
You bet.
Eric Erickson's going to continue our team coverage of the Biden diagnosis. When did the president, the first lady, the family know about this diagnosis? Was it as long as 2 years ago, or was it just recently discovered? Obviously, a lot of unanswered questions there. Hey, congrats to Ricky in Sugar Hill, baby. Sugar Hill. He won a pair of tickets to see Metallica. So excited about that. Is there any chance, Deborah, we can get tickets? I already blew my one chance when I asked promotions for Taylor Swift tickets, and I got denied.
Yeah, you know who to ask and the portal to go through, so you just have to ask them nicely.
The portal.
You got to go through the portal.
The portal.
Yeah, you guys have never done that? There's like a form where you
we have to fill out a form.
Really?
Yeah,
exactly,
you got to fill out a form.
Or if you're just really, really nice to some people, maybe they'll hook you up.
I've been here 28 years, and I've only asked for one pair of tickets. I didn't even know there was a portal. I figured, I can use my one time, and I got denied, shot down. Will you guide me through the portal, Longoria?
I will. Yeah.
I'd like to
have
go.
it saved on mine.
I'd like to. I'd like to see Metallica. I'd also like to give you away $1,000. The next keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz comes right after the new news here on 95.5 WSB. When we come back, would your partner leave you for your pet? I don't know. I got to think about that. Who's more important to Maya, Soba or me? We'll talk about that story when we come back. After we check traffic, back live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, and Alex Williams.
Travel advisory continues outbound into Cab. This crash cleanup's been in a couple of right lanes. 20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. Still a tough ride leaving 285, as well as on 285 east and north leaving Flat Shoals. Trying to get onto 20 east. Go ahead, think about using Covington Highway as an alternate. Crash downtown, 7585 northbound University Avenue, exit 244. It's in 2 left lanes, but not worthy of an alternate yet. About a half, 3/4 of a mile delay there. And just found a new stalled big rig in the second left lane over in the Smyrna area. 285 southbound, the outer loop Paces Ferry Road, exit number 18. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews from the Von Hessler Doctrine for my roofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it into the budget? Spring is in the air, and our houses and our landscapes are getting manicured. But how is your roof looking? You know, a new roof can dramatically improve the look of your house. And I know, there are a lot of uncertainties in the economy right now. So, FGA Roofing has put together an offer you should consider. The 000 plan. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments for 12 months. With FGA Roofing, you can get a quote in just a few days and your roof installed in just a couple of weeks. And the best part is you can wait and pay until it fits your timeline. FGA Roofing specializes in slate, tile, wood shake, cedar, and architectural roofs. Don't forget, it's the 000 plan. Hard to beat that, right? From FGA Roofing, where you'll get first-rate installation and quality service. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in providing full service and repair for any Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Land Rover, or European vehicle. Hey, this is Rocco, and visit one of our 6 locations for top-notch customer service that includes clear upfront pricing, customer approval prior to us beginning work, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. Your vehicle is fixed right the first time, and we offer shuttle service for more convenience. Always at a better value than the dealership. Visit any of our 6 locations at Rocco's European Garage.
That's your garage door. Almost broken, but technically not broken yet. And you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So you don't fix it, 'cause it ain't broke. And it gets worse. Until one day, 2 a.m., raining alligators, carload full of dry cleaning, you push the button, and out of nowhere, guess what's broke? Your garage door. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. A garage door that's almost broken can actually do more damage than one that's fully broke. Jammed up parts put an extra strain on the motor. Rollers out of whack stress the tracks and the belts. Fix it early while it's still a simple repair and before your car gets locked out or locked in. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and make it right. 'Cause if it's almost broke, you fix it.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Preparing to sell your home can be costly and time-consuming. Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Say goodbye to the stress that comes with showings, open houses, and costly home repairs. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate will sell your home fast and for maximum value. With over 12,500 five-star reviews, trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home for top dollar. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Happy 33rd birthday, singer Sam Smith. He's only 33. He's got older vocals. Happy birthday, Sam. All right, when it comes to Stay With Me, if it comes down to a choice between me or Soba, will I have to be crying to Maya and say, stay with me? What will couples do? Would they rather be with their partner or their pet, Deborah Green?
Well, this is specifically dog owners, and a survey of dog owners found that millennials are more likely to choose their dog over a person. In fact, 16% said they'll trade their partner if it means a couple more extra years with their beloved pet. Yeah.
That's millennials.
That's millennials, yep.
So I'm thinking of Randy with TT, right? Wasn't that the name of her little dog? Teeny?
Oh,
Teeny?
no. Teeny.
Yeah, Teeny.
Teeny.
Yeah. I'd never want Maya to have to make that choice. I'm afraid to find out what she has to say. No one loves dogs more than I do. I've said before Bosco passed away, I would give a year of my life up to extend her life another year without a question, 100%. Like, let's do it. But I don't know, having to choose between your partner or your pet, that's a tough one. I'm going to pass. Am I allowed to pass on that? One more story from you, Deborah. Okay. I didn't get any of the details about the New Orleans jail escape. Apparently this happened. 4 inmates at a jail or prison. No. I think the verbiage matters there. Like county jail or like a prison escaped, and now there's a $10,000 reward for each of them. What do we know about this?
Yeah, it's actually 10 inmates escaped.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
okay.
They were able to pull a defective door off its tracks and then climb through a hole that was behind the wall where a toilet was. So think, Shawshank Redemption, Prison Break, everything. Now, and some people think there must have been help from an employee because there was surveillance footage and nobody made any notes of what was happening. Now, 3 of the men were captured, but 7 are still at large. And police are saying to the residents in the New Orleans area to, be vigilant, report any activity, and the reward's been up to $12,000 if they actually get an arrest.
Wow. All right. So be careful in the Big Easy. I'm influenced by Andy Dufresne.
Yes.
Because we're rooting for him to get out. But I think most times you don't want prisoners to escape. I think
they're going to Zihuatanejo.
Zihuatanejo. Open fishing charter with Red.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is National Roadie Day, and Benjamin Holliday Dorsey III, affectionately known as Lovey, is widely recognized as the first roadie in music history. Born on May 19, 1925, Dorsey blazed a trail that countless road crew members have followed ever since. He worked with legends like Willie Nelson, John Wayne, Patsy Cline, Elvis Presley, Waylon Jennings, Charlie Pride, and many, many more.
Do you remember who I was a roadie for, Longoria?
Yes.
Deborah knows, I know. Do you have any idea who I was a roadie for?
That's right.
I have to think about that.
$1,000 from Vinny.
Vinny guess.
The Pixies.
No, good guess. Deborah?
Eddie Rabbitt.
Eddie Rabbitt, yeah. I was a one-day roadie for Eddie Rabbitt.
1 day?
1 day. And he said, I was so good the first day. Eddie Rabbitt's like, you got to retire on top, kid. We'll never have a roadie better than you. I think I'm in his autobiography. He's like, back in 91, I was in the Warner Theater. We had this roadie named Aram. He was amazing. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I was a roadie, believe it or not. All right, happy. When you said roadie, I was thinking like one for the road, like a drink.
Oh, yeah.
So however you celebrate Roadie Day, happy National Roadie Day, one and all.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
Longoria, you shone above everybody. Before Fact Today, you found that Clark Howard audio for me. Well done. Vinny left our poor guest in the lobby. He's still up there for like 40 minutes. So, no, I'll give Vinny, Deborah, and myself. We all get one today. Stephen Portnoy joined us from D.C., as did John Decker. Eric Erickson joined us live. Amanda Albright from Bloomberg News on the credit rating dip. And Torian Small joined us live from CBS on Capitol Hill. Do not go anywhere. Right after the new news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus splits. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here just for listening to WSB Radio. I got a lot of stuff to do today, so I'm going to be active on socials pretty much for the rest of this Monday. So hit me up there at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Monday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Do you know you have to give your bank or credit union written permission to rip you off on your debit card? Do not give your bank permission to approve a charge for which you don't have money for and then charge you a $35 fee for going over your available amount. So what you do instead is take that permission away. The worst that happens is you go to buy something somewhere and they say, nope, can't do it. And then you avoid the rip-off fee.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid on this Monday, May 19th. This news at noon, sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. And our top local story, a 4-year-old is dead following an ATV accident in Forsyth County.
A 16-year-old was driving the vehicle on Valley Stream Drive with a 4-year-old passenger on board. Neither boy was wearing a helmet. The teen made an abrupt stop while turning to the right, causing the ATV to overturn, and both boys were thrown from the vehicle. A statement from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office says the 4-year-old died at the scene. The teen taken to North Fulton Medical Center with minor injuries. Names are being withheld as the Sheriff's Office continues an investigation into the incident. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, partly to mostly cloudy today with a high of 86. A pop-up storm is possible. Then a cold front moves in midweek. Just how cool will it get? WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast at 12:05. And this just in here at